Hello, Ross here, with a quick disclaimer about today's Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. About halfway through, Tom Campbell's microphone cuts out for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just a little bit of a tiny chunk in the midst of a massive sea of a 3-hour podcast. But for those 10 to 15 minutes, it's a bit of a ropey experience, oddly. So I'm just here to let you know that's going to happen, and not to worry. We've tried the very best we can to try and fix that audio issue. It just sounds like to me he's on a Zoom call while myself and Jack the Jobber are in the same room at the same time. It's not that bad, but it's going to happen. You have been warned. Thanks.
Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
Right, hi everyone. I know Matthew normally does the thing. I've prepared a rap. Brilliant. Ross's reaction there. No, I wrote this late last night and I think you'll be quite impressed.
Well, that reassures me completely. Yeah, let's hear it. Come on, lay it on thick.
I'm
Rap
scared.
daddy.
I'm scared. I'm getting stage fright. I can't do
Bring
it.
the fly beats.
Okay.
Bring the noise.
Okay, it's time to get down to business. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, yo, we're getting hyped like my way because we're all sat here on a Friday bringing you this week in wrestling. But now it's time for a little confession. Matthew's away. He's got the flu. He's doing okay. We hope he gets well soon. But for now, it's Tom. He's stepping right in. We're going to have fun. Is he going to win the Hall of Fame with his selection? Because you know that it's our favourite section. Ross is here too with the mailbag. We're going to read you long questions and feel sad. My name's Jack. Friday's here at last. So sit back and enjoy the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. How was the honest thoughts? How was that?
That was impressive, but it's
Amazing.
tinged with a slight bit of sadness, Jack, because I feel like, Live Aid, where they had Dizzy Rascal do the rap in the middle. Feels a bit like that.
the tables turned. Would you survive?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, Dizzy,
I wouldn't.
no.
Tony Khan, where's the money for? Yeah.
Tom?
Amazing.
Thank you, man.
Honestly,
Cheers,
can
thank
we?
you.
I mean, the nice thing is that bit about like, oh, Matthew's not here, whatever. You could get rid of that in future, and that could be the opening to the podcast. That's the new. If you like a lot of wrestling on your YouTube,
Just for the people with OCD in the wilderness out there, if you like a lot of wrestling on YouTube, join our cult.
I'm so glad that's over. Like, walking in, I was a bit nervous. I was
No,
like,
you
smashed
smashed it.
You should have heard him spewing in the bog just before we got
Like
going.
Eminem.
Hey,
Mum
Miles.
spaghetti.
But
Right,
yeah, just to reassure everybody, Matthew has a cold. He's had
cold.
He's had a COVID test. It's not COVID. He's just got a cold. So precautionary, keeping them well away.
Absolutely. Get well soon, Matthew.
Yeah.
I've said that already in the rap, so it's all good. How are you both? How are you, Tom?
I'm all good. Yes, this is basically a Lisa Simpson episode. Because Tom's in it.
Tom,
that's
stop.
the kind
Stop
of...
that.
No, because you get those episodes of The Simpsons, which sometimes you might go, oh.
Yeah, but you always learn a lesson at the end.
Yeah, it's true. The lesson
Something
is...
you're going to whap out a saxophone.
You never know.
You
never know.
I tell you what, I walked in the office this morning, sat down next to Tom, and he didn't say, hello, how are you? How was your morning? As he normally does. He says, are you feeling sexy? To which I said, Tom, I could be anything you want me to be.
I just like to mix it up a little bit in the office, and rather than always just being, you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah. Sometimes I go, are you feeling arrogant today? Are you feeling ambivalent today? Just to mix up the atmosphere in the office.
I feel like because since people have been coming back into the office, obviously it's been split. We are in the upstairs. Some people are in the downstairs office. Disgusting. And I think that if we were going to do like an annual like sporting bonanza or something, or a competition of some sort against the downstairs office, I feel like I think you'd be the team captain because you're the most passionate about the upstairs office.
I'd be good at sort of G'ing everybody up. I think that if we were going to do a sport, it should be an e-sport because we're up there with triple jump.
That's true.
So let's
That's
get
very
the
true.
e-sport lads on
true.
side. And Pacitti doesn't play games.
Smash you lot.
Let's have a Royal Rumble. Let's have a rumble. Jumpers for goal posts, jumpers for ring posts. Find a field and just smash the SHIT out of one another.
I've reached out to, just on a slight tangent, well, there'll be a few of these. I reached out to the guy who did the artwork for the Royal Rumble, the infamous Royal Rumble 91
92.
92 poster.
with all the-
yeah. I've actually reached out to the artist to see if he'll come on and do a chat.
Oh,
for
nice.
Cultaholic. So-
That'll be good.
Yeah, I saw people talking about him. I went, do you know what? Does anybody? Why aren't we interviewing him? That's an iconic piece of artwork. So I've been doing a lot of that this week. I've been chasing up some really cool people to get on the news podcast, Desert Island Graps and stuff like that.
Nice.
I've had a busy week, and I had a haircut that was way too short yesterday.
No, I think it looks nice. I wouldn't worry
It's
about
not
it.
way too short.
I think it looks lovely.
No.
I think
It's
it's
one of
good.
those. But what you do when you go to the hairdressers and they show you your hair.
Aye, champion, aye.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Spot on, mate. Yeah,
You've got a -6. It's cut into your brain. Yeah, that's great. Cheers. Exactly
No,
what I wanted.
I think it looks good though. I think it looks
mate.
good. Don't worry.
I
And even if you don't
appreciate
like it, give it 3 weeks. It'll
be back. Yeah, that's it. From the moment it was cut, it started growing back.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Ross, how are you?
Fine, just fine.
Okay.
I'm existing. It's all fine. I've got my can of Monster, which always is good for a podcast. I'm finding it's going to be me once a week Monster on a Friday morning. So that's going to be good, hopefully. So I'm here and I'm fine.
Excellent
That's
stuff.
all. Well, yeah. Aye. Just champion. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. Aye. Champion. Lovely.
I can't
Thank
drink
you, yeah.
Monster.
Aye.
Oh, why?
You've reached that. Adam Pacitti spoke about this. You reach a certain age, and Monster doesn't really agree with you anymore.
Because I suffer heart palpitations. I feel like if I drank it, my heart might explode.
What's in there out of interest?
He laughs like a maniac. Your
scared.
heart might explode.
Stay tuned for partial excitement. Oh, this is coffee. Coffee I'm fine with. But for some reason, the concentrated energy of a Monster, if I down a can of that, I'm very, very
I'm
bored.
dancing with the devil this morning because
Oh, you
I've double dipped. I've necked a cup of coffee upstairs.
Oh.
Now I've started on the Monster. So the good times are here on the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, sponsored not by Monster. I don't know if I can say it or not.
No, that's not happened yet. It's not happened yet. Right. It's time for the news. Now, the problem is that Matthew often collects the notes for the news. Matthew's not here. We've made a mistake. But thankfully, Tom has provided me with just loads of headlines and I can just pluck whatever I want.
This is just like I set sort of the news agenda on a morning here. So I went, here's my notes. Just go through them.
Right. Well, this is a very pertinent one straight away because it happened quite recently. Cash Wheeler, obviously a bit of an injury scare on Dynamite. Thankfully, he seems to be doing fine. That was the report from, I believe, PW Insider backstage. But for those who didn't see, it was pretty grisly.
He whelped. You heard him go, ooh, Cantona. So, ooh, Cantona.
Yes.
There's me bone.
Yeah.
So I looked when he was down at ringside, because obviously he was on the top turnbuckle ready to do the suplex, and he would do the splash combo thing that FTR do. And he was going up for his splash part. And then whoever drop kicked him off the apron, or off the turnbuckle, he sort of caught his arm on the actual turnbuckle bit, it looked like, and ripped it open. And when he went down the ringside area to get treated by the doc, there was a bit of white.
Oh.
And I wasn't watching in glorious high definition. I was watching a bit lower quality, you see, because internet and stuff. And I thought that was his bone. Then you look back, Tom, and it's not. It's just a bit of paper.
Oh, right. But thankfully, he's doing all right. Dax Harwood took to Twitter and was cross at people contacting him directly to try and work out how Cash Wheeler was. He implied that a few of them might have been journalists trying to get the scoop. And he was like, that's my mate. That's my best friend. What are you doing? I'm worried about him and stuff. So I fully understand Dax Harwood there. Unless it was either of you two, in which case...
No, mate.
I think there would have been some people who would have been tweeting out a concern for a wrestler they like, but there probably would have been like some sock puppet accounts like Davo Meltzero. Oh, sorry to hear about your friend. How is
Sounds
he
like
doing?
an ice cream, that. Oh,
Davo Malzero.
Davo Meltzero,
Meltzero.
Ginelli.
It's quite warm today. I'd love one of them Davo Malzeros. Also, something that me and you, I believe, Tom, covered on the news the other day. Braun Strowman's been a bit of a teasy boy on Instagram.
He has indeed. Apparently, he's got a big announcement he's going to make imminently. Is it a return to WWE?
Well...
Or is it... Well, mind you, he ended the little thing on his Instagram story with hashtag MYMR.
Which after several guesses we worked out was my life, my rules.
MLMR.
MLMR, sorry.
MYR.
My life, my year, my rules.
My life, my rules. Yes.
Why do you reckon a return
I just feel
to
like
WWE?
he's a very WWE guy.
He is.
And I can't see any other company that could afford him.
Yeah.
he's changed his Instagram name, though, to Adam Scher. He's going to change it back. I'm going to go there again, but it's like Michael Scott and a vasectomy. You can't just snip-snap changing your social media names, flip-flopping.
I think you can reverse vasectomies these days.
Oh, you can. Just Michael Scott has a snip-snap, snip-snap.
Oh, I see.
So he goes back and forth because of that bloody Jan, bloody Jan.
Jan. Domino's Pizza are upset with AEW. Because...
Domino's Pizza should be upset with their pizza, because I was saying upstairs, in terms of cost to pizza ratio, Domino's is disgusting. Their chicken wings are fantastic. Aiden upstairs, he loves a cookie, as we say up here in Newcastle upon Tyne. Other people might say a cookie.
Yeah, but how do you say it?
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Cookie?
Cookie.
Cookie.
I think we were expecting the Brummie to go, cookie!
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was.
Oh,
wondering
chocolate
that.
cookie.
Can I get a cookie with my Domino's pizza,
Yeah.
please? I'd like a mighty matey.
I was. You know
I'm
what?
getting Poundland.
You say good lady. I was trying to think of an equally charming phrase to come up with, but I couldn't. Your partner,
My good lady.
has said that that your accent gets stronger when you go home.
When I go
and I really
home,
want to hear. I really want to hear that. At some
Well, when
point.
I'm back, next time I'm back home,
Record yourself.
I'll immediately come to your house and go, all right, Bob.
yeah, do that.
Nice to see you.
Thomas Strong style over there. Ross, what do you make of this Domino's scenario?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, I can see why Domino's would be upset. Just the sheer... It's artwork, just looking at that.
It's so funny.
Nick Gage holding the bloody pizza cutter in the air, which looks like it could have been marinara sauce, pizza sauce, whatever you call it, tomato ketchup. And I can see why they'd be upset with that being next to their logo, because people might put two and two together and think, hey, what's going on here with Domino's? But as a wrestling fan who saw that match and understands the context, it couldn't have worked out better.
It's an instant meme in real time.
Of course it is.
was
It
phenomenal.
needs to be in if there's a wrestling art gallery somewhere, that should be the centerpiece of the entire thing. Nick Gage, Domino's, fantastic.
There's a few stories that I reckon we'll talk about more when we talk about the wrestling.
There's a few things in there that I think were more pertinent.
Carrying Cross and that.
Yeah, to the show as we get to
But
them.
one thing that I saw, and obviously none of us are on the news today, but you might have prepared a bit.
I put the news together,
Right.
so I know
So
what the
what
crack
was
is.
Vince McMahon talking about on his call
Right.
today about AEW?
So Vince McMahon was asked whether or not he considers AEW to be competition, whether it's the idea of a high tide raising all boats.
Okay.
And Vince McMahon doesn't see it as the case. And Vince McMahon says, I don't see AEW as competition in the same way that WCW was. As WCW as Turner had more resources, AEW does what it does. And then there was a little comment at the end where Vince McMahon said, I don't know what investments AEW have made. Perhaps we can send them a few more.
Whoa!
And the problem is, now this might have been taken out of context because he was kind of getting low and mumbly at this point. In fact, in all the quotes that you read online, it even says like inaudible. And then he passes over to Nick Khan. So I feel like it could have been taken out of context, but it certainly sounded like Vince was going, well, we're going to send them some more wrestlers. And then Nick Khan picked up from there and said, like, AEW, everyone says AEW competition, everything's competition. He says he quoted the guy from Netflix by saying sleep is competition.
Right. Okay.
We'll book better wrestling shows then. We won't fall asleep Monday Night Raw in particular.
This news made me feel sad because it made me realize that we, the online wrestling fans or whatever, the smarky corner of the wrestling fandom, right? We're in like a bubble. It made me realize, and I was like, oh, there's legions of John Cena kids out there who will not know AEW and will always choose WWE because it's all they've known, and we are just, But not that I want to see AEW necessarily like put WWE out of business or anything, but I want to return to what I was just too young to see, which was the Attitude, the Monday Night Wars and everything.
The difference is, though, this time, and Vince is right, like AEW isn't competition the way WCW was because in the late 90s, there was an urgency. Like, you didn't have, like, WWF didn't have the, even when, like, I think everyone just assumes that, like, the Attitude Era, like, $1 billion just landed in Vince's bank account. Even for a big part of the Attitude Era, they were scraping by.
Yeah.
And now they're at a point where they are just making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
So it's not competition in the same way because there isn't that urgency for them to be better because even if they're not, they're still making so much money from other places.
Yeah.
Whether or not that will last, whether or not other companies will go, actually, let's go over there and see what that's about. But we'll see. But Vince is actually right. It's
I know,
not
which is a shame. Which is a shame.
Because we want that Monday night.
Yeah,
War,
we do. I really do. Yeah.
There could be a time in the future where they're competing for TV rights and similar TV slots and stuff like that. This is way down the line, obviously.
Yeah.
But in terms of everything, as Tom says, where they're bringing money, it just isn't competition at all.
Right.
But go on, Vince McMahon. I'm enjoying this sassy Vince McMahon.
Vince didn't
I
care.
see something WWE do, and then Tony Khan gets all sassy, taking the high ground every single time. It's good for Vince McMahon to have a bit of sass back.
Yeah.
Go on, Vince.
Okay.
Kick him.
Right, that'll probably do for the news, unless I'm missing anything glaring.
CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, tease to the hilt, but we'll get into that as the show goes on.
I mean, the big question last week was all about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, as was my article on Cultaholic.com this week, everyone. So do check that out under the features section. I don't know what else.
Cheeky plug. I think there'll be stuff that we'll cover as we go along.
I know that, and the biggest news story will happen, of course, 2 hours after we've stopped recording. So what's the point?
Oh, yeah. So should we predict some things just to try and beat the Cultaholic curse. Or we could just put in some blank things like, I'm sorry to hear that X got injured during X.
No, that's very morbid, because then what if it actually happens? I don't want that.
We can just
Rest
fill
in
that
peace.
X.
You just said... you're all right. Oh, that's all right. I genuinely
I'm
thought you
sorry
were
to
gonna...
hear that.
I've just realised
Passed away.
audio listeners will be confused right now. We're miming. I'm gonna sneeze. Elephant.
Oh, no.
Elephant.
Oh, he's in the
Elephant.
middle as well.
Don't worry. Elephant, and the sneeze is gone.
Wow.
What a fantastic trick that is. If you need to
trick,
sneeze at home, just repeat the word elephant and the urge will go.
Have you told that to Vince McMahon?
I'll be Vince's favourite boy. I can control my sneezing.
Vince just confused why everyone around him always says elephant. He's like, everyone must love these animals.
This elephant's over. Let's get this kid on TV.
Right. How does Matthew end these segments? He just kind of goes,
He goes,
I'll
he
read
does a
that.
silent nod.
and now it's time for this.
I'll read that, pal. That was the news, and that was the news.
Get well soon. I feel bad mocking him when he's...
He's not mocking him.
Alright, true.
He was doing Nick Gage impersonations last week.
Oh my god. It got caught in my diaphragm. MTK. Yeah, right. Let's move on to the Hall of Fame.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame.
And now it's time for everyone's favourite segment, the Hall of Fame. And the results are, I'm not surprised, but I am sad. Hello, goodbye here. Brackets in your arms, 6%. It's a fire alarm. It's just a drill, as it is every single Friday.
That's a drill.
Ross told me when he was writing down these Hall of Fame things for the Patreon actually, that it's not here in your arms, it's here brackets.
I always go on
in your arms.
YouTube and then copy and paste the official title, and yeah, it is bracketed.
Nice.
Which is a small detail I don't think is necessary,
No,
to be honest with you.
No, not for that chorus.
I'd like to point out that I think 2 of those votes were from me.
Do you like that song?
I went to see them live
Did
in
you?
Birmingham off the back of that song.
What were they like? What were the rest of their songs like?
They're all very much the same. But it was a lovely night.
That's
Why is
lovely.
the in your arms implied though? Why can't I be here in your arms with a plum?
Yeah.
Why am I here
can't I be fully
in brackets
here?
in your arms?
I'm
Can
trying
you
to
not see I'm in your arms? Am I a small man?
I don't know whether it's because the way that the song goes.
Small.
You are the one.
I've been watching that. There's a 16-minute
Here
compilation.
in your... No, it's all one sentence.
What do here, but hear it.
It's all it flows. There's something Jean Beaumont in that line. So, sorry.
Lies close to me, whispers.
I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if we're allowed to do this.
Terribly.
Lads, I don't know if we're allowed. Lads, I don't know. No.
Bit of money for hello goodbye.
Tell you
Go
what,
on.
if this
lads.
if this video gets demonetized after that rap at the start, I'm going to be fuming. So please don't do anything
Will
to
they
jeopardize.
not get PRS money for that?
I don't know. I don't know.
They might do.
PRS money?
It's money that the Performing Rights Society give to people who are on the radio. I remember. Can I tell a very quick anecdote?
Yeah, this is what Hall of Fame segments are literally all about.
I did for a week. I did a breakfast show in the Northeast on radio with Michelle Heaton from Liberty X.
No way.
That was a.
Are you joking?
No, it was a lovely week we had. She's new to radio. We had a week where it was Tom and Michelle in
she
the
good
morning.
laugh?
She was good. She was great fun. There was a bit,
Just a little bit.
just hey. Well, this is the joke because we.
no.
We played just a little by Liberty X during like the Time Tunnel Guest of the Year thing. And I turned the fader up, and you hear me reach into my pocket and chuck 20p across the desk. There you go, there's your PRS fee.
Oh no!
Actually, no.
Oh, that's
You
absolutely
condescending man.
That's absolutely brutal.
We'd known each other for about 4 days by that point. So
Oh, my
thankfully,
word.
the banter was high
Oh,
at that point.
that's all right.
As a leaving gift, I gave her a photo of my face.
What? My nightmare boss at the radio.
He turned heel before he was a thing on the Cultaholic Wrestling.
The picture's on my Facebook somewhere. I'll find it and I'll share it. It's a picture of Michelle Heaton holding a photo of my face. What a lovely time. She was great. She was lovely.
Oh, that's good because she was representing the Northeast in Liberty X.
And you had Jessica, who's married to Kevin Peterson.
Kevin Peterson.
Kai
No,
Lee.
that was an Australian accent I did there.
From South Africa.
He's such a perfect looking man. Like on the outside, obviously he's got his demons and he's got his.
See, I disagree. I think his haircut needs work.
If I could, like, click my fingers and look like Kevin Peterson, I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
obviously, but I'm the haircut. Nah,
well, you can change that.
well, he hasn't.
He's gone through multiple.
Very square head he's got. He's got a haircut that doesn't help his square-headedness, and he needs to change that.
I feel like his features are just masculine enough that it kind of works.
And I don't feel bad saying that after watching a documentary about his text messages about a certain
yeah.
Andrew Strauss.
Yeah, you can't be...
You can't be going behind your captain's back, man.
You can't do that. Especially to teammates that you once played for in the youth ranks of South Africa. Right, okay.
And then Roman and Stuart Broad as well. He was just a young boy, Kevin.
Aye. And what's your issue with Alistair Cook? Oh, he's only the greatest England batsman ever. Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Jessie Camilla could be Alistair Cook's sister.
Oh,
That's
really?
right.
I've never even thought that.
Looked at her closely. That sounded weird. I looked at her closely this week on NXT, and I thought, you look a bit like Alistair Cook.
I can see
in
it.
the
I think.
eyes.
I want to see Alistair Cook wear a pair of glasses now to see if it works. And just generally. Marvellous looking man. Second in the Hall of Fame, Sting's lazy pitter-patter on his chest at the end of the Orange Cassidy bit on AEW Dynamite, 45%.
Now, this was an interesting Hall of Fame week because when I logged on earlier this week to check that the thing had gone live, the two last ones were tied.
Oh.
And then when trying to copy and paste on my laptop this morning, those notes right there, I voted for the final one by mistake, which stopped the tie and swung it in the favour of the winner. But and
who's that winner by the way?
That would be Andrew getting chopped.
No, but who voted for the winner, sorry?
Who voted for the winner?
Yeah. Whose choice was Andrew getting chopped?
Matthew, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought you'd voted for your own.
No, I was
I thought
Sting's
you had
pitter-
as well.
No, I was Sting's pitter-patter.
Oh, thank God. I thought there was going to be corruption.
Yeah, no,
the Hall
definitely
of
not.
Fame.
There's
Oh.
no corruption here. We're not FIFA.
No,
We're not. We're not FIFA.
That would have been... I couldn't believe that when you were saying it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a Netflix
It's a
documentary.
different experience when you've got a mouse using in terms of using a trackpad as well. So I've just made a mess there. So if you were invested in the tie, I'm sorry, but we now have a clear outright winner. All right.
There's nothing... Politicians can vote for themselves in a general election.
Do you see the Queen?
You have to. You do lodge your vote, don't you?
Yeah.
You go on
So
vote.
I feel like we should be allowed as well. So it's fine. Yeah.
The Queen had like a backstage meeting with someone in Scotland, and they were keeping her political sways private in the interest of democracy and stuff. Now I think that's a load of bollocks.
Oh, I wonder what the Queen is.
Do you reckon she's a Tory?
Nah, she's Green Party.
Defo Green Party is her badge.
So that means that the winner is Matthew, but that means that Tom, you can go first in this week's Hall of Fame.
Okay. Well, I had a vote ready, and my mind's sort of been changed. So I was actually going to be a bit boring and put my good lady in.
Well, why not?
Only because like the last 2 weeks I've
You
been.
put yours in.
When?
I'll tell you this.
Because you were worried that people would go E, and then you decided no, I'm going to be defiant, and
I
I'm
got
going to.
pressured into it. Yeah,
The truth comes
by
out.
the YouTube comments it was.
Oh, not by her,
Not by
right?
her. No, not by her. By the YouTube comments. She doesn't watch this.
It's only she does though, doesn't she?
From time to time, she puts it on when she needs to go to bed.
There you go.
Needs to fall asleep.
Aw, that's nice though.
We're competing with sleep here in the Wrestling Podcast.
I was going to put my good lady in because like the last 2 weeks we've been like ships in the night. I've barely seen her because I've been working here and then working somewhere else, and then she's been working her normal job. So like she's been getting home. I haven't been home for like a couple of hours afterwards. Some nights I've not been getting into like 10:30, 11:15, and then she's up early the next day. She's already asleep. I'll see her for a little bit in the morning before I head to work. So we've just been ships in the night, and I very much missed her company this week. And I didn't realise how much I would miss it until I couldn't see her every day.
Don't
and I have missed her.
So it's gone.
He was telling a lovely story.
So I was
then like a sledgehammer just comes through.
and I came into that and thought, you know what? What's a really lovely way I can honour her is to look down the camera and say how much I love her and say how much it means to me that she's around. I was going to do that, but then I heard Jack's rap, so I'm going to put Jack's rap in the Hall of Fame.
No, you put.
I'm putting your rap in the Hall of Fame.
No, put her in. Oh man,
I'm putting your rap in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
Jack's rap in the Hall of Fame.
She doesn't listen to this, does she? She won't hear that very heartfelt thing and then but Jack did a rap.
I'm sure somebody will tag her in it on Twitter and find it, and that's fine. Your rap in the Hall of Fame because I thought it was phenomenal. I genuinely think we should put a bit of a beat behind that and make that the jingle.
No, I'm scared.
Should do. Your rap in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much, Ross.
I was going to go for a wrestling one this week because I was watching Nick Gage versus Matt Cardona doing the deathmatch thing. MDK. All effing day. East Block. All the gangs and that. Go on, the lads.
East Block.
Here's a man that's hung around the East Block quite a bit.
Northeast Block.
And obviously when Cardona won, my Hall of Fame pick this week, and I should have looked up his name, but I forgot the Hall of Fame so it was a thing on the podcast somehow, so I forgot to look up his name, but the GCW ring announcer, the utter disdain in his voice, he's like, I knew GCW heavyweight champion Matt Cardona.
Perfectly
So
played.
good.
Fantastic. So whoever that man is, You are my Hall of Fame nomination this week.
Is he the one who does the very exuberant Nick Gage intro as well?
Yeah,
he's like
all of the above, yeah.
Yes.
East Block, all the lads.
I wouldn't like it if he did it for every heel, but I think for that story, really worked well.
I'd love that match.
Absolutely made sense to do it there. I like that.
Tom has a ring announcer.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done a bit of character work as you've been announcing something for a storyline?
There's a couple that there's probably a couple that I've done. I think it's more just in inflection.
Okay.
Little inflection in the way that you do things. Whenever I get to announce Gene Money, if he comes out to Baker Street, I always make sure that I speak right up to the saxophone.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah,
it goes,
that's good.
Gene Money. Dun, 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 dun,
Nice, the
so I always
timing.
try and type the timing, the little intricate timing like that. I like to add loads of extra things to Rory Coyle's entrance when he wrestles.
The Video Nasty.
Video Nasty, the Devil of North, etc. In terms of other things, I think it's all just in voice and inflection and stuff.
I've noticed that it was almost like for you though, it was a lovely moment. It wasn't for the crowd. It was when Gia came out and you both did like a little point, and I was like, oh, that's very lovely.
Yeah, that was nice actually. I'm a big fan of what Gia Adams does.
Oh, she's fantastic.
That's always really good. It was like I did some commentary for the first time since the world shut down, and there was a Gia Adams match in there. So I was like, I get to call Gia Adams matches again. That's good.
Going back to inflections, by the way, I've got a new handheld Hoover at home, and it's got like two sets. It's got off, on, and a bit more.
I think I know
bit
what
more
you're gonna
powerful.
say.
When I turn it off, because you have to cycle up the 2 settings to turn it off, it sounds like David Pencer. I'm gonna have to get a video now.
I kind of want to put your Hoover in the Hall of Fame now.
I'll get the video for next week's podcast. There'll be a nomination then. But yeah, got it this week. Lovely little Black & Decker number. Let me Black & Decker handheld Hoover. Sounds like David Penzer.
David Penzer's made an entire career out of 2 noises. Even if a name has one verb, he manages.
Wow. So did Green Day, and they're my favorite band.
That's true.
So we've got my rap.
Your rap.
With your good lady a close second.
Your
My
rap.
rap.
Clear mile.
We've got the ring announcer from GCW. We don't know his name, but I feel like
I'll find out his name.
I think if you put the ring announcer from GCW,
I'll
or maybe
put that,
in
yeah.
Shall I have a look now?
Go on then.
I hope he's got a lovely name. Then we can ring announce his name.
Yes.
GCW.
Make his dreams come true.
Mine, I'm gonna put Tom's good lady in because I was gonna do the rap, but then you stole that, so I'll do it for you.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you.
But it's from Tom.
Making me sick.
Too much friendship and niceness in there. No, I'd met her before, but never like. Then lockdown happened, and we'd only ever briefly spoken if we'd ever bumped into each other when you like on your birthday, for example.
Yeah.
But
she's all right. Isn't she?
when we all got to meet up after lockdown, she's an absolutely lovely woman. Yeah.
She's all
So
right,
yeah,
She's
Hall of Fame person.
She's a good egg. She's good. She made a lovely
Good egg.
she made a lovely tagine last night.
Lovely.
Lovely tagine when I got in. Last
What's a
night.
tagine?
It's like a vegetable. It's like a vegetable tagine. It was like a curry-esque dish.
A curry-esque dish.
Curry-esque dish.
Oh, lovely.
I just went, what's for tea? She went tagine. I said, that sounds fine. Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. We swapped turns in cooking, and she's a much better cook than I am. Like leagues better. I cooked it. I was overtired this week, and I cooked something earlier in the week, and it was what was it I cooked? And it was just
Baked beans.
I made Swedish meatballs, and when you're tired, when the tiny little minutiae things almost get you a little bit sad and teary, and you eat and you go, these are too dry. I've left them in the sauce too long. They're too dry. And I remember feeling I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm tired this week, and I'm in a bad way because this shouldn't make me teary. These meatballs are too dry. I'm very sorry. Like groveling, and she's like, they're fine. What are you talking about? I'm really sorry. I've ruined it. You might as well leave me. I don't know why you're here.
What made them Swedish?
It's the spices and stuff that you put in.
Yeah, that's the question I was wondering.
It's the spice that you put in them. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but that's what make them. But in the recipe book, in Pinch of Nom, they're Swedish meatballs. Pinch of Nom, they're Swedish meatballs.
A little bit of spice. Sorry, had to do it. A little bit of Chris Eubank.
Yeah, that's great.
That's exactly who that was. I didn't need to tell you, obviously, but I have done that. A little bit of spice.
So, just to recap, we have my rap. We have the ring announcer.
I
for
can't
GCW.
find the
Sorry,
exact
I
name,
forget.
and there's a couple, and I don't want to get it wrong.
Fair
so
enough.
We'll
Let's
research it
do
after.
them both. I want to ring announce their names in the style of David
Hang
Penzer.
on, I've lost them now. Hang on.
And coming to the ring.
And
It's all of a sudden Paige.
and we have just while Tom finds that.
He's the former one.
Oh, bugger to him then. Bugger to him.
He's the former ring announcer. That's no good.
This is dying at death here, Tom.
Yeah,
Don't worry
I just
about it.
moved on.
We'll find it.
and Tom's good lady as well, which is a Tomism that I find particularly charming.
Please steal it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
No,
good
you
lady.
say, you
Good
say
lady.
Warlass up here.
Warlass?
Warlass.
I went to
Like.
I went to like a family. It was Bethany's auntie's birthday. Actually, speaking of her the other day. So we went along, and I was meeting a few for the first time, like cousins and stuff like that. And she brought up that she hates that I call her Bethany. And I was like, "What do you mean? You introduced yourself to me as Bethany." She went, "My family calls me Betty. They'll call me Betty." I'm like.
Oh.
Well, first of all, you're in your 20s. That's a bit of a weird. No offense to anybody. No.
I know a Betty.
Oh, how old is she?
Same age as me.
Damn it! Oh, is it her?
Is it her?
Is it Bethany?
No. Is she the same age as me?
No, she's the year below me.
I was going to say.
Betty Boop was in her 20s.
Yeah, but that was in the
Betty
20s.
Phoenix was once upon a time in her
War
20s.
Betty?
She's
All right. Well, anyway, they all their family call her Betty, but then people that she works with call her Beth. And for some strange reason, she introduced herself to me as Bethany, and now I'm calling her this archaic formal name. It's just, I don't know.
I like your reluctance to call her Betty, though.
Well, now I can't. I've known her too long now. I don't know. Anyway.
What's she saved in your phone as?
Well, I don't actually know if I've ever saved a Messenger and that. It's always it's the new generation.
God,
No,
these
it's-
kids today.
Because when
I think she'll be down as Bethany. I think.
when I first met Alex, like her surname's Booth, so I had her in my phone as Boothroyd as a joke, like Betty Boothroyd.
Yes,
there you
right,
go.
yeah.
And the other day she was ringing my phone. She was trying to find. She was ringing me or something anyway. She saw her name flash up on my phone. And she said, "Why is it still Boothroyd?" Like, so I ain't got the heart to change it.
Just
Like,
a massive fan of former Watford manager and former England under 21 boss,
Yes.
Eddie Boothroyd.
Boothroyd.
love AD Boothroyd. That's why I said, even if I change my phone, I'll keep you as Booth. I never call her Boothroyd now, but it'll always be there as Boothroyd.
Lovely.
It'll always be there.
To vote for any of those choices, you can head to patreon.com/cultaholic and place your, not bets, votes. Place your votes.
Place your Bettys now.
And while we're here, we've revamped the entire Patreon, as they would say, dans la France. I don't know where I'm going here. Chateau Neuf de Pep. But yeah, lots of new stuff on there. You can either go and do a Desert Island Grabs with him or a Straight to Hell with me if you've got enough money.
A bespoke personal
Bespoke,
one.
yeah,
of
that'll be
course.
on Patreon for the rest of the patrons to see.
There's also some scary ones. I've forgotten what the slightly smaller of the two is. Oh, it's that you can choose. If we reach a certain number of patrons, then you can choose. Do they collectively choose? I don't quite understand.
No, we put on a wrestling show.
No, that's the bigger one.
Oh, what were you going for there?
The other one was that that
We'll get
watch,
battered and watch a bit of wrestling.
We'll watch
right.
a pay-per-view of their choice.
Of
But I'm
their
guessing
choice,
they
yeah.
all collectively decide.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, the big one is that if we reach, I don't even know,
2,500.
a big number
on
of
the
patrons, yeah,
Patreons.
then we'll put on a wrestling show in Newcastle with free tickets for the patrons. But that's a long way. I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I hope it never does.
If it does,
It's doable.
if it does, it means we're doing well, and I'd happily do it.
Well, yeah, it's a happiness tinge with sadness and stress.
I'm the only one not burned by previous, so I'm really up for it.
Right. That.
I'm bringing you out of commentary retirement,
No,
by
you
the way.
keep
I
saying
am,
this,
mate.
Tom.
I am,
it's
mate.
a
If this
flat
happens,
no.
it's me and thee on comms.
Oh,
me and thee on
dear
comms.
Goodness me.
Have a lovely
To be
time.
fair, if I had time to do research on the people in the ring, that would be nice.
And you will. And I'll be with you. It'll be fine. We'll make it happen.
Are you burying Simon Miller here?
No.
No, he was good. He was good. He was good. We'll get him in. Anyway, that was the Hall of Fame.
This week in the wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
Yes, in the dulcet tones of Jen, it is time for That's Week in the... I can't do it. Can you do it?
This week in the wrestling.
Yes, absolutely.
Take a burst, son. What a hat, son. What a hat.
Czech Republic on the breeze.
I'll beat up a panda.
yeah. I still haven't heard any more elaboration on what that was about. Jen reckons she can beat up a panda.
I think she could. She'd give a panda a black eye easily.
Well, then I thought if
Because they
I...
already have one.
What are you lying? So...
Which animal could you beat up in a fight, legitimately?
I was about to say, I'd give this some serious thought, right? And then Googled it and did a bit of research, and I was proven so wrong. I thought the sensible answer for the biggest animal you could beat in a fight would be a cow. I thought a human could beat a cow. And then I researched it, and you just like break your fists. And
Have you
stuff
never
trying
seen
to...
boxers use cow?
I've seen Rocky 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'd do that. I don't know. I can't think. So maybe
A sloth.
yeah.
They're slow.
Why would you want to beat up a sloth?
I'm
though?
not. No, I don't want to beat up an animal ever. But if it was like right, either the world ends or you've got to batter that sloth.
I killed that ladybird the other day.
Oh man.
In our upstairs office.
You didn't kill her. You just did the Undertaker Mick Foley thing from Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I was trying to scoop it up on a bit of
God
kitchen
almighty.
roll, and I must have accidentally squashed it as I was trying to like get it, and then I put it out the window expecting it to fly gloriously away, and it just, yeah, good God Almighty, they've killed it. Yeah, honestly,
Table shattered.
yeah. Very
What
sad.
animal
indeed.
could it? Oh.
I think a sloth.
Yeah, sloth's a good
Sloth's
shout.
I
good
think I
shout.
could take a swan.
Oh yeah.
Although they're
No. I think
They're
nightmares.
feisty, but I reckon I could have it.
You wouldn't come away unharmed.
Grab it by the neck and just.
yeah. I think obviously they are dangerous, and apparently they can break a human arm, which I don't know how they.
Wrap their neck round it and go.
That's the thing that people often say about swans. Yeah, they can break a human neck.
They're also protected by the queen.
Yeah.
So if you do,
I care about that.
you'd be in the tower
Put
within
me
a
in
week.
Chop my head off.
Why swans? Why are swans protected by the Queen?
Flipping loves a swan. She signed a peace treaty with the Swans in 1932 that hasn't been broken.
This week in the wrestling, let's start off with Smackers. First of all, John Cena opens the show and wants a title shot against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Of course, we knew he would. He calls out Roman, but Heyman arrives instead and says that the tribal chief isn't coming out here yet. He then sings Cena's theme and walks off. What do we make of the singing of Cena's theme?
An all-time SmackDown moment, really.
pretty good.
It's just fantastic scenes. But there's a couple of points here. John Cena's back because he needs to protect the small amount of respect that WWE has left. He knows, just does John. He knows. And then
Did he
also,
say that?
Aye. That's why he's back. And he said, are you on team fans, or about you speak about Roman Reigns here, are you on a team the fans always reject? And I'm thinking that's another 2017 line from John Cena.
John's not watched for a few
about
years.
Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
He's not a babyface anymore, John. We don't want to accept him. He's the tribal chief. He's at the other end of the table. He wouldn't sit on this table, would he? There's no head here. This is a square table.
We're all equal.
He'd stand
We
on
are
it.
all equal.
He'd
He'd
stand
hate
on it in
this
the middle.
table.
Yeah.
This is the table
It's
next to Roman.
cross-legged on the table. My table.
This is the table where Jimmy and
Acknowledge
Jay
me.
and Paul sit, because this is square.
Yeah.
Whereas Roman has his own separate table.
Like AJ, start taking a leaf out of AJ's book. With his
Take food off my family, my table, my wife's table, my son's table.
son's table. Oh, every family member's got their own table.
If anything, he's quite flush. If
Yeah.
each of his family have got their own table.
Finn Balor. Then, if we were finished talking
Can we
about...
just say...
Yeah, go on, sorry, yeah.
He was 40 years old this week.
Who?
Finn Balor.
No.
Finn Balor was 40 years old.
Is he?
That's 40.
Jeez.
40.
Good lad.
Finn Balor is a full 11 years older just about than me.
I agree with what people are saying about these old wrestlers coming back in and just ruining the company.
God.
These old timers coming back like Finn Balor
How...
in AJ style.
I was thinking about getting my abs out to show the
the
difference. I've
lads.
not got any.
Do it.
But no, because then I decided I'm too scared for that, so I went for the guns instead.
Okay.
But Balor's not really known for his guns, but rest assured, they're better than all of ours.
Get your abs out for the lads.
No, absolutely not. Oh,
Get
I
your
didn't
dick
even mean
out.
that.
Go on, like Finn Balor.
If you get your six pack out, I'll get my barrel out.
No,
How's that?
no, thank you. No.
Patreon.com/Cultaholic if you want to see
No.
topless pictures of your favourite Cultaholic member.
It's just a picture, but with the top bit cut off.
tell you did have abs from Cultaholic. Andrew Hodkinson.
I felt like I was in the presence of a rapper. Funnily enough, when he it was like, I don't know, just imagine him like with his boxes pulled a bit higher up in his jean
Oh, like
waistline.
Tupac.
Aye, just like the look of his toe. He had a tattoo on his ribs.
It said West Side.
What a ruffian! What, we're hiring here? Eh? He had a tattoo on the back of his neck.
Have you not met Sam? Right, sorry, anyway.
Sam's not got prison tattoos like Andrew. Andrew's done time to get that one on his ribs and the one on the back of his neck. He hasn't really, just to clarify.
No, yeah, just to clarify.
Imagine Andrew in prison, though.
He'd charm everyone.
Is there not
He'd start a musical in
a
prison.
more lost thing than Andrew in prison? Like a fish up a tree. Like,
I think he'd be running the place.
I was about to say Owen might be less likely, but no, I think Andrew edges it for me, yeah. Can't imagine Owen in prison either. He'd be like, do you want a couple, lads? The prisoners. Anyway, Finn Balor wins his first match back on the main roster. Not his SmackDown debut, obviously, because he appeared last week or the week before. But he wins his first match, defeating Sami Zayn. Poor Sami Zayn.
I thought I was back in 2018 or 2019 watching this. It was the old Finn Balor, woo, moving a little pose on the ropes, and then tope over the top rope. Let's go commercial break. It was like 2018, 2019 Finn Balor. So hopefully that's not a signal for things to come, because that run was pesh.
I thought you were going to say you felt like you were back in 2015, late 2015, when me and you went to that NXT house show in Newcastle. And the main event was Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn.
Was it?
Yes, it was Sami Zayn's first match back.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
No, was it not Balor's first match back?
No, it was
Sami
Sami's.
Zayn, but he lost anyway.
I was up front for that.
Yeah, we were there. We were at the back. Oh, Matthew was there.
Oh, yeah, that was the night that we had our great falling out.
Oh, you, Matthew? Yeah, I like the story.
Why?
The night of the great falling out.
Oh, they tell it on Tom's Des Island Grabs.
We told the whole story. So I said, I'll buy you a pint when you're there. And he seemed up for it. And I bought him a pint, took a picture of it. He never turned up. I had a couple of more pints as well as his.
Just to defend Matthew, they'd never met at this point.
Oh, yeah. We'd never met.
They'd never once met.
I just assumed friendship when someone said, I'll have a pint with you. Fool me,
You made it sound like you and Matthew, old pals going way back.
Absolutely. I mean, we are now, which is nice. But at the time, we barely knew each other.
Matthew doesn't. He's like me. He doesn't really drink pints much anymore.
Yeah, so that showed again my
yeah.
ignorance to him. But you can hear the whole story on Des Island Graps. It was toe curling to recant it, because I thought I had to tell it.
That night when I first got chatting to your good lady, actually, did have a couple of pints then, because it was everyone's first night out in a while, and the pictures were flowing. It was scary.
It was a heavy night.
It was a heavy night for wallets as well as for heads. Tell you what, me and Ross went on a double date. It was class. It was a little while ago now. It was the night of.
It was us two on one side of the table, and I was trying to think of another couple there on the other side of the table to make it sound like it was us two. Good. I made a mess
This
there.
is going to age me. I was going to say the Minogues on the other side of the table.
Leslie Ash and Roseberry. What's on the board? Miss Ford
Dawn
on the other
French,
side of the table.
Jennifer Saunders,
French and Saunders.
Birds of a Feather, they were there as well.
French and
Men
Saunders.
Behaving Badly came for a run-in later on.
Caroline Quentin pops in. What, 90s night?
I know. Anyway, Ant and Dec, why not? Who wouldn't like to go on a date with Ant and Dec? I would.
I would.
Yeah.
I'll be right.
Anyway, Big E comes out to celebrate his Money in the Bank briefcase.
Can we just go just before that? Sorry, in me notes,
on.
Corbin explained, because last week, of course, we explained that. I said that when you click on Corbin's GoFundMe page, it's just a picture, but he filled the blank in, which I need to note because they never do that. The guy who set up the website ghosted Corbin, took his money, and that's why it's not set up properly. So thank you, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, for explaining something that maybe wouldn't have been explained in other WWE storylines.
Yeah, I'd love to know who came up with that. If it was him himself, then fantastic. Absolutely.
I love Corbin.
I do now as well. Big E comes out to celebrate his Money in the Bank briefcase win, but Apollo Crews interrupts and mocks him for only winning a contract, not a title like what he's got. Crews is then interrupted by the Dirty Dogs.
What a pop.
Yeah,
What a pop. It was a loud pop.
Nice.
Pop,
good.
pop, soda pop.
But then they're interrupted by Nakamura and Boogs, and then they're interrupted by Cesaro. And then Cesaro puts there's a bit of a scuffle. Excuse me. Cesaro puts the big swing on Crews, who runs away. And the other heels, the Dogs, run away with him, even though they were the ones who interrupted him and said they were coming for his IC title. But then by the end of the segment, they were aligned. This was poorly thought out, in my opinion.
This was a series of events that happened in an order, and it felt more like a fashion show than a wrestling segment. Just people just kept walking out and strutting their stuff and then going backstage again.
Regardless, that's a spicy little mid card. That.
Oh, it is. The talent there.
That's in any other company, that'd be the top of the card.
An incredible bit of spice.
It's a spicy mid card. Mamma mia, that's a spicy mid card.
Yeah, not a dry one.
Oh, don't start that again.
I can't do Chris.
my word.
Not a dry rub spice, just a very fluid and liquid spice. It's a hard one, that. I feel like I'm trying to do an impersonation of Greg Davies' impersonation of Chris Eubanks.
It's a good. I can tell what you're doing. I can tell what you're doing because his ends up sounding more like Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
He says that himself. He says that's Nelson Mandela. Yeah. Rest in peace. Not to Greg Davies. He's
he's
doing
fine.
Greg Davies is alive, yeah.
Cultaholic curse. Hang on.
Oh no.
He's fine.
Sorry, yeah, it's me, isn't it? I keep forgetting that I'm the Matthew. No, that's the first time I've forgotten the Matthew. It's all going all right. Rolling Loud Festival plays host to its first match of the night. Angelo Dawkins versus Chad Gable with Montez Ford, Otis, and our boy Wale at ringside. Dawkins wins. The festival crowd don't seem too enthused.
It got off to such a great start because the camera was there, the ring's on the stage, it looks wonderful. There's millions in the background, all rabid wrestling fans, obviously, because Wale is shouting, "We want the smoke!" They're going, "We want the smoke. We don't know why, but we want it anyway. Go on."
We're going for a smoke.
Then the wrestlers come out and silence happens because nobody has a clue about the wrestlers anymore. We are not cool wrestling fans. I don't know if you knew this, but we're not cool.
No. Also, one thing I've sort of realized is at a festival, the stage is either far away or if you're up close to it, it's above you. So they're not going to have a good view of the wrestling.
No.
The only good view of the wrestling at Rolling Loud was the television view.
Because
it looked amazing. It looked amazing. Like, the setup looked brilliant. But they had to sweeten the crowd because they weren't, as you say, like either not wrestling fans or if they were wrestling fans, they couldn't see anything.
If this was Woodstock 99...
I want to watch that.
Al Snow would have came out. Millions. The decibel meter would have been off the scale. But here we are in 2021 and no one has a clue about wrestlers apart from wrestling fans.
No.
And it's a sad reality.
Mind you, when they did NXT UK at the Download
They do that
Festival,
well.
That was really good. That was a lively crowd for that.
They do that good and proper. Something I feel like if we ever got in a position where we'd be covering that, I could never ever go. Not because I hate metalheads, but because I always get hay fever right bang on. We couldn't send Ross either. Dreadful.
Not anymore. Maybe you could have last year, but this, I don't know if it's a side effect of the Pfizer vaccine there, Tom, but my hay fever has been off the scale this year.
Just to clarify, Ross is not, he's not like criticising the vaccine itself.
We're going to have that thing on the bottom of the video now, aren't we? Learn the facts about the virus.
It's just weird how I did have the vaccine, then my hay fever's been, woo!
Well, Ross, let me put this to you. Is it not because we've all been outside less? And we've had less time to adjust to the pollen.
No, the vaccine clearly gives you hay fever.
Yeah.
Is it funny how I had the vaccine and now my Wi-Fi isn't as good upstairs? Explain that, Bill Gates.
I saw on TikTok the other day, there was this woman and they had like I don't know if it was like a little metal detector, and she was like, do my arm. And then she was like, sorry, do the unvaccinated arm, and there was nothing. She was like, do my vaccinated arm. And it went beep as they got to the... But she had a T-shirt pulled down conveniently. So obviously there might be a credit card or something in there or a magnet. I don't know.
Exhausting people.
I know.
Exhausting people.
Don't be like Fabian Delph or Nia Jax or any other anti-vaxxer. Just get the vaccine and help everybody out. Help yourself out, man. Keep yourself out the hospital.
We're still at Rolling Loud. Bianca, I should have paused for longer there. Sorry, I should have paused for a bit longer. We're still at Rolling Loud, and Bianca Belair successfully once again defends her title against Carmella. The festival crowd continue to not seem very excited.
They're not, because it doesn't mean it means nothing to them. Oh, Vienna, there's wrestling on, and they want to just watch some music. They want to watch the band.
They want to watch Ultra.
Bianca really wanted Carmella to kiss her bum during that match. I thought
there was a lot of smacking of the batoon,
a lot of arse slapping, which Pat likes to point out means kiss my bum.
Thanks, Pat.
It was a fine match, a bit of an abrupt finish, I thought, but yeah, that was probably for the best just because of the silence of the crowad. I just realized we didn't speak about Gable or Angelo, did we?
The match was it was all right. But
my highlight was another call from Pat where he said Gable did a suplex to Angelo where his arm was sort of hooked behind his back.
Yeah.
Had his arm locked up under him like Tom Segura trying to dunk a basketball. Have you seen it, Tom?
I have seen it.
Oh, dear me.
That's quite the sight.
Back at the actual show, yeah. Shotzi Blackwell, I've put her full name, but it's just Shotzi now, isn't it? Shotzi and Tegan Knox are working on their tank backstage. Tegan had quite a funny line here, actually. Thought I should give a shout out to the first ever WCPW Women's Champion. Because Owens is there, obviously saying, have you fixed the tank? What's going on? And have you tried hitting it with that thing? And she goes, quite a few times, quite hard, yeah. And I thought, it's quite a little bit of wit there from the girl with the shiniest wizard. They're working on their tank backstage. Baron Corbin comes along and asks Kevin Owens to take pity on him. And Owens reluctantly gives him some money.
It's character development. He's grown as a person as Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he has, actually.
He's had his vaccine and he's grown as a person. See, they're not all bad.
And then, just like that scene from The Simpsons with Hans Moleman, Corbin turns around and the tank, accidentally, I will say, they didn't do it on purpose, shoots him right in his cock and balls. He falls over. And then Rude and Ziggler run up and just mug him. They're just like, oh, give me the money, give me that. And Owens chases them off with a chair. And I remember thinking, what am I watching here? There's being a heel, and then there's being like a criminal, like a thief. I was like, what?
It's starting to work with Corbin. It's starting to work. I feel bad for him.
I do as well.
They can still tell good stories. I think everyone thinks that there's some sort of anti-WWE rhetoric everywhere. And when they do stuff like that, it's fun. I feel like we're into it.
I feel like we've largely been positive about SmackDown.
I think we have.
SmackDown, yeah. This is the thing. Why aren't you allowed to say that was bad and that was good? Why, when you say something bad, you're tarnished with saying everything about that thing is bad? You can't just say a bit's bad and a bit's good.
I'm surprised, right?
Internet.
I'm really surprised that the rise of AEW has led to such like partisanship where people like support one. It's like Sun and Newcastle.
Wale's tweet when he was like,
I was going to mention this.
I forget what it was in full.
So Wale was tweeting a storm about AEW. He was watching the death match, and a fan tweeted him saying, "I will unfollow you and throw all of your music I've got in the trash if you keep tweeting about AEW. You should be loyal to WWE."
Oh my god, you should be loyal.
And it's this sentiment that just you like what. I compared it to on Twitter. I said, my first job.
That tweet was about?
That was what it was about. My first job was Electronics Boutique, the video game shop. Now Game, and it's like if that under that mentality, stay loyal to the people that made you. Well, yeah, Electronics Boutique gave me my first proper salary, allowed me to rent my first home, it allowed me to go on a lovely holiday for the first time, but. So if that mentality, I have to stay and work there forever. No. I got offered a job, which was a bit more money, a bit more opportunity. I'm gonna take it. You didn't stay loyal. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's stupid.
No one's loyal to anybody.
No, it's
especially crap bosses.
Yeah.
Where would this place be?
That was a double meaning that one. Yeah. Those who know, who know.
Anyway, so yes, I fully agreed as well, Tom. Very good point. Edge comes to the ring and calls out Seth Rollins for costing him at Money in the Bank, and also for the thing in 2014 where he was going to stomp him onto the concrete block. Oh, yeah. Rollins doesn't want to get in the ring because he knows what Edge is like, and Edge is like, "I'm not going to lay a hand on you. Get in the ring. Don't worry." Rollins has never watched wrestling before. He gets in the ring and says next time he's got his foot on Edge's neck, he won't hesitate.
Snap it like a swan.
Threaten him, basically murder, or the serious injury at the very least. Edge reminds Rollins that I'm a liar, and he beats him up. And then Seth rolls out the way of the spear. I thought it was a nice segment. It was pretty good.
I'm up for their match at SummerSlam. I think they'll have a lovely time.
Isn't Rollins the guy that Edge just wanted to, like, since he came back, he's like, I want to wrestle Rollins?
I think it's been interviews for years where
it was on ENC Pod of Awesome as well, like when there were him and Christian, who would lambast wrestling fans for reviewing wrestling on podcasts, and then they would get their own podcast to review wrestling.
Well,
you bloody hypocrites! Let me tell you, ENC Pod of Awesomeness. But you'd always say back on those days that Rollins was in the mix, Reigns was in the mix, Cesaro. I remember him saying. A few more, can't remember. But this was good.
Less for Edge, but I'd like to see him more for Owens. I'd like to see him wrestle Owens because Owens is a big fan of Edge, so I'd like to see that. But yeah. Toni Storm makes a SmackDown in-ring debut, beating Zelina Vega, who
jobber entrance
is a mystery to me.
Already,
that woman.
Yeah,
she went away. Like it was a big acrimonious exit, seemingly. If she then popped up in maybe AEW alongside Andrade, it would have been absolutely huge. Everyone like, and now she's back because they needed kind of a last minute, and now she's just there still.
It's almost like they've gone, please come back, here's some money, please come back. All right, I'm come back. Right, now we're going to punish you for leaving.
Yeah.
Stay loyal.
I hope she's getting paid lots of money and she's able to do her Twitch stuff as well, because for that to happen that quickly does not have good implications for the future, surely. But
I'm not saying that Toni Storm should have lost, obviously, because of the debut on SmackDown.
Someone else.
Yeah, pick someone else, yeah.
Even her comeback was really underwhelming.
They could have made something of that. They could have made a story of that, couldn't they? Yeah.
It was just like, there's Zelina Vega. She hasn't been here for a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so underwhelming.
So she had a good couple of moments in the match. She had a nice like sunset flip bomb ting on Toni Storm, and I like the finish with the belt getting into play. She did the fakey pulling out and stuff, and then that move that Toni does, which defies the laws of physics. That was good.
The finisher.
Aye.
Yeah, I have to watch that a couple of times to get me head around that.
It's changed. Is it the Storm 1 now? It's not Storm 0. It's Storm 1 because she's getting grown as a person.
Oh,
I like that.
Or something. I don't know.
I remember her finish on the Indies used to be called the Strong Zero. Not to make this all. I was in Japan, but I was. And the beverage of choice there, the alcoholic beverage of choice, is called Strong Zero. And it's a wickedly powerful like in a can. It's just like a vodka and flavoring, but you can't taste the vodka at all. But it's like 9% or something. I don't know how it's allowed.
Spicy.
Spice. Yeah.
That's what it's named after.
Her finish used to be called Strong Zero, then Storm Zero,
now Storm
1.
And now
what will Storm 53 be? Will that just be like teleport them to another planet and then come back?
It'd be like a
again?
fatality.
Has there ever been a spice-related finisher name?
Curryman must have.
Curryman must have had a spicy finisher name.
Why is this
Spice
the thing?
Rack?
Bit of Vindaloo.
Oh,
Spice Rack.
Yes.
Oh. That's why you keep your spices.
Jimmy Uso beats Dominic with Jay's help and a bit of a dodgy finish as well, which now that I've written it down, but it was a week ago, I can't remember what that finish. Oh, did he put his feet?
Did the same thing, yeah.
Helped him.
Did the same thing
helped
as
him finish.
MITB 2K21.
Yeah.
I like to start this match because it started out as a fight rather than a wrestling match, which annoys me when you have such a personal feud. Where, remember, Roman Reigns tried to murder Dom and Roman Reigns tried to murder Dom's dad in Hell in a Cell. Let's have a fight. Let's not have a collar and elbow tie-up. That's not right, is it,
Just
Tom?
get amongst it.
If I see someone I don't like in the big market on a Friday night, I don't go, let's have a collar and elbow tie-up.
Let's wait for the bell.
I'll fight you. I'll get you.
Let's wait for the bell before we begin.
Touch of Irish there towards the end. Yeah, a decent match, but it was clearly part of a bigger storyline.
It was a good match as well because Dom, I've noticed, getting a few boos during his entrance, but then by the end of the match it was so good. And his delayed neck breaker, go back and watch that delayed neck breaker from Dom. He turned the tide of the crowd, which is nice to see.
But Jimmy didn't get done. No, he didn't get Dom. He didn't get done either. We won the match. Roman Reigns shows up, but he turns down John Cena's challenge. He's then interrupted by Finn Balor, who says, well, I want a shot then. And Roman's like, welcome back to relevance. Everyone gets a second chance. Make the most. Not everyone gets a second chance. Don't waste it. And he says, I accept. So now he's going to accept Finn Balor's challenge for a title shot. But not John Cena. Is Roman scared of John Cena?
Do we run the risk of getting the crowd booing John Cena again by tantalizing them with a Finn Balor Roman Reigns SummerSlam match?
I think people are more looking forward to Cena versus Reigns, actually.
Yeah,
I'd say, personally, I am anyway, but
I think this is just Reigns getting his tune-ups in before the big event itself. But I thought fantastic how Roman Reigns would moan about something being the same thing for a long time, and then comparing Cena to the missionary position.
Yes, the same S word every day.
Roman Reigns doesn't get inspired by the missionary position, which of course means, he must do it. He must do it doggy style because he's the big dog. He's the big dog.
It's hard, excellent. It's hard to acknowledge when they're facing away, though. That's the problem.
We've learned a lot about your good lady today.
When there was a nice little subtle bit, I think, with John Cena at the start, because obviously Roman Reigns makes his comments about him being like, it's like a not a tribute act. What was the word he used?
A prize turkey.
I don't know. Right. Because he kind of talked to he wants to face new challenges, not like rehashes and reruns and all that. And John Cena's promo on SmackDown was pretty much all John Cena-isms. It was all, champ is here, you can't see me. And while some people might have thought that's quite a lazy promo, I think that's deliberate. I think John Cena is doing all the catchphrases and all that stuff, being very sort of generic John Cena. And we're going to see him twist into, actually, I need to be more than just character John Cena. I've got to dig down a little bit deeper. And for Roman to take me seriously, for Roman to acknowledge me.
But we've got to ask ourselves the most important question here, lads. If John Cena is the missionary position, which, by the way, was cut off their YouTube clip because that's a naughty thing for the kids to hear, what is main roster Finn Balor? Because I would suggest he's a mere rub on top of the underwear. Just,
He's a...
what was it?
Whatever he is, he's looking at himself in the mirror when he does it.
The foreplay. The foreplay before the foreplay.
Foreplay in front of a mirror.
Only a rub on the top of the underwear.
What a question this is. Moving on.
What would you suggest Finn Balor is in terms of the sexiness, the sex game?
I don't know, but moving on to a show that I wish had any... Moving on to a show which I wish had any other name, Raw.
What do you think, Jack?
He'll be up there with like Sting and that tantric thing that he always bangs on.
Oh, yeah,
about,
not that Sting. The musicians.
That Sting doing good. John, no, actually don't.
No, don't do it, John.
Don't do that, John. Don't do that,
I'm
John.
intrigued. What would you compare Finn Balor to in the sex?
Something tantric and very like long. Like what?
Moving on to Raw.
One of those
banana.
ones. No.
Maybe a cucumber.
Nikki ASH opens the show
Gorgeous.
and tells, if I was Matthew, I'd have gone, speaking of long things or not, Nikki ASH, this is short. Nikki ASH opens the show and tells us how we should believe in yourselves.
Oh, go away, man, will you?
Oh,
You're not a fan of this, are
don't
you?
say that, right?
No, it's because I'm a disgruntled, bitter old man. I can see why it's appealing to kids and whatnot.
She
it's
is a
inspiring.
lovely woman.
I know she is.
And her,
I think
husband's a lovely man as well.
He is, and he's a big scary man as well, so
I
maybe
know,
I should
aye.
watch what I'm saying. But I think the promos are wanky. That's all I'm saying. They are wanky.
Oh, man, it's for the
But
kids.
she got,
for the kids.
to be fair to her, she got a massive cheer, and you deserve a chance. Therefore, Meltzer, your sources are wrong.
We are
Maybe.
We are grown men surgically dissecting a show for
I
children.
know we are. We're sad and pathetic.
Charlotte Flair interrupts and says she'll win the title back, and she probably will, before Rhea Ripley also interrupts and has her sights on the title as well. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville do their weird thing where they cut the same promo together because there's two of them and it's a bit odd. They book a triple threat match for SummerSlam, but also they booked Charlotte versus Nikki tonight in one of them sort of non-title, but if you win...
No, it's because Charlotte wanted to prove that Nikki's not in her league.
Yeah, okay,
She
yeah.
wants to hammer her. She wanted her to hammer her down. Yeah, show her, Charlotte.
And she
You've
would.
got this, Queen.
I mean, spoilers, but she would. We'll get onto that later. There's a scuffle.
Did you notice, by the way, that the heels in WWE by and large now tell the truth?
Yeah, they win,
and
yeah.
baby faces are delusional, naive idiots.
Yeah.
Can someone
Yeah.
who's a babyface just tell the truth? Because I'm looking at Adam Cole, I'm looking at Charlotte Flair, and they just tell the truth, and then what they say happens as well in the ring. And it's like the faces, just look like idiots.
Would you say that Baron Corbin could potentially become the most honest babyface in the company by just going, everything's gone wrong for me?
Yeah.
I'm having a terrible time.
He's a very honest man indeed. Where was I in? Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was going to speak about the butterfly. Nikki saying, as my butterfly represents, this division is ready for a metamorphosis.
As my butterfly represents.
She's got a butterfly there, hasn't she?
Because she's changed from a caterpillar into a butterfly.
But I was thinking the old Divas title.
Oh.
That was a butterfly, wasn't it? Are we going back to the Divas era, Nikki Cross? Is that what you're saying? No, it's not, of course. No, it's not. But I like to read into things wrong on purpose.
There's a bit of a scuffle, and Nikki stands tall in the ring. Bad news for her later on. Yes. Damien Priest beats Sheamus, but Sheamus never does title matches anymore, so it's non-title. But Priest wins to earn himself a US title match. Sheamus then claims that he's broken his nose again. He calls for the doctor and all that, but I think he was just healing it up.
Well, they certainly kept you guessing because that kick from Priest to the face of Sheamus looked very much like it could have shattered a nose.
Shearer.
Interesting.
Like Neil Lennon.
Imagine.
Can't believe he didn't get a red card.
But I thought the psychology of the early stages of the match was completely off. Because why wouldn't Damien Priest just go for the nose right from the get-go? Why waste all that time? The psychology was all off.
Because they've got a 3-hour show to fill.
That's Ross there. Ross there from Voices of Wrestling.
I feel like most of these matches could be like 30 seconds and done, but they've got 3 hours to pad. So
I tell you what, though.
No offense to Voices of Wrestling, sorry. Wonderful
Voices of
resource
Wrestling
sometimes. It's a website where I use them sometimes for previews. They're very good at previews for big pay-per-views, but of promotions that I've not been following. Aye.
they're good for that.
Kurt Angle kick out from Damien Priest was fantastic. I like a Kurt Angle kick out. Like it's 2 9/10. Right at the last second.
Check out top 10 kickouts in WWE history on Cultaholic right now on this very
he's
YouTube
plugging
channel.
more things than Ava Knox today.
Right, we're going to talk about her. We're going to talk about this. So, Adam Paci's got a friend, which is great.
That's the end of the story. That was my story.
She's 6'2". She's from Manchester. It's Ava. She's
because of the thing.
she's a lady she's an adult actress. Is that the term?
She's an adult actress.
She's an adult entertainment actress, and she somehow. I thought this was just a funny little interaction they'd had like the other week, and he was like, "Oh, I've known her for about a year." I'm like, "What's this?" It's just such a funny concept that Adam, who, if you meet him in any sort of official capacity, he's very proper and that and stuff. He's like, "I'm also friends with a porn star." Nothing against Ava. She seems like a very charming and hilarious woman. She knows what she's doing. She's playing into it. What did I tell you? Because I'm scared. I'm really scared. What are you going to say?
I think you told me about the rude adult version of Coronation Street.
Yes, she was. Yeah, I was.
I'm so happy that exists.
I was researching Ava on my work computer, which might have not been
Bad call, that, mate.
And yeah, she was in something called Coronation Street.
To be fair though, then the puns started to flow on everybody in our work chat. The puns of
No,
like
I had to leave my
famous,
nod.
we can say it on the podcast, the famous Coronation Street characters, but if they were porn stars. And Jack won the day.
Please don't.
with Gail Twat.
No, I felt so bad. I got a very disapproving.
You said it, I went, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
I deleted it because from the back of the room, I just heard Ben Potter go, Jack.
I'm trying to remember other submissions.
Well, there was
The character's called Gail Platt for anyone who's not familiar with Coronation
Well,
Street.
we can't say it because of the YouTube, but there's a character in Corrie called Jack Duckworth. I'll let you use your imaginations to what that became.
I went straight down the middle. Betty's hot pot. Just get it.
Can we do a live stream
Which is
where we
why I
watch
don't call
Coronation
my girlfriend
Street?
by that name, actually. No, sorry, go ahead. Sounds a bit too dirty if I do, doesn't it? Sounds a bit too awful.
God.
Betty's
can we-
sex pot.
I want to do a live stream where we all watch Coronation Street.
No.
What?
No. I do
Sure.
want to watch...
Not
Can I have a game of soggy biscuit?
No, not in
why
a
is this
rude
going,
way.
man?
Like, we wouldn't have to kiss.
Yeah.
And
However, it's a lovely
Does Matthew,
Christmas
I feel like
tradition.
Matthew keeps control of this podcast a lot more than I do. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'll just get confused by the gaming references, me, so I don't know what to say.
Just sit quietly and
Sit
nod.
quietly and nod. I love the Nintendo 64.
In Raw tag team title action, AJ Styles and Omos retain against the Viking Raiders. Again, this was one too many for me. Too similar to the last one. Not really needed, in my opinion. What did you think?
It's just filling time. I can't help but feel so much of Raw is just padding. Just keeping things ticking over. Viking Raiders came back relatively hot. Oh, look at an established tag team, and they're very cool now.
The Viking
Not
Raiders.
not cool as in like, hey, but cool as in like, just
Because cooled off.
It's
They're
weird.
cooled off.
It's weird how it's happened, this rivalry, because they had the Money in the Bank match where it was a relative, in terms of what we've seen since, a bit of a squashy Squashington. It wasn't. They won with aplomb, did AJ Styles and Omos, and ever since on Raw, we've had back and forth matches. AJ Styles bumping like a fiend, Omos looking strong, but the Viking Raiders doing a lot of good stuff as well. And after it's come after the initial squashiness of the squash match, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they do it the other way around?
It's
Just
like when Jurgen Klopp first joined Liverpool and they started doing it worse at first because they had to get used to his system.
Oh, yes.
So it's like AJ and Omos are going through this slightly more difficult patch to improve overall as a team.
'Cause that's the narrative, isn't it? That they're more of a team now.
That's
They're
what
not-
they're really
they're not
pushing,
two singles
yeah.
men.
Yeah.
Good match, though. Good match.
Jinder Mahal brings out a lawyer because he wants to sue Drew McIntyre for battering Shanky last week.
But does he really? Because he says to Drew, if you say sorry, I won't sue you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Jinder.
He's doing it in the wrong order. Drew doesn't care and faces Veer, who terrible call by the referee here, in my opinion. A chair gets slid into the ring. Drew claymores the chair into the face of Veer, and then Drew wins by DQ because the chair got slid into the ring by one of Veer's men, Jinder, I think, probably not the lawyer.
I thought the commentator said the Veer got the win, didn't he, in the history books?
I went on cagematch.net, and unless they've changed it, and it said there that Drew won by DQ.
the announcer said, "Here's your winner of disqualification, Drew McIntyre." But they
in the-
announced Drew as the winner.
But in the wrestling, when the heel introduces the foreign object,
That's not an instant end of the match.
nah.
And it's whoever uses it then gets disqualified.
Yeah.
How many times as a heel hoyed a chair into the ring and then the faces use it and the faces got disqualified?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This should have been a win for Veer. They should have
Veer's been screwed.
They should have given Veer the winner's share of the
Congratulations
purse.
to Veer for getting a big win over Drew McIntyre.
Justice for Veer.
Yeah.
I am vehemently I'm vehemently sure that Veer picked up the victory.
Drew also claimed...
Have no Veer. Veer is here.
There's your superhero.
He's the new
gimmick.
Nick-
He's not a Veer in the headlights because he defeated Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw.
He also, Drew this is, claymores the lawyer afterwards as well, of course. Natalya and Tamina take on Eva Marie and Doudrop in another lots of non-title matches on this week's Raw. Natalya seems to, she actually legitimately seemed to hurt herself and is helped to the back, but Tamina wins anyway after a distraction from Alexa Bliss on the screen. Hopefully Natalya gets well soon. It looked painful, the twist.
Tamina
of the
doesn't
arm.
need her.
No, Tamina won anyway, yeah. No, we do hope Natalya gets well soon, of course.
It looked like it didn't look like a storyline injury because she shared the thing on Twitter where her leg was bent in
Oh, it was her leg, wasn't it?
a wrong
Oh.
angle where they were doing that roll through. Very nice little sequence
Yeah.
there, and just sort of it was a bit.
It was like her arm was left behind and the rest of
Like
it.
Tom Segura trying to dunk a basketball.
Alexa Bliss continues to torment Eva Marie and Doudrop.
This was the Lily Lucian stuff.
You know how how
was-
it's bad because it felt like something I would have done as an intro back in the day, and if that's what I'm doing as an intro, it should not be on Monday Night Raw.
This felt like a WTF intro. With
Yes,
Lily.
that's how bad it was.
Did you notice the CM Punk line in this?
No?
She started it with, "Do I have your attention now?"
Oh!
Even Raw are teasing CM Punk at this point. Lily versus CM Punk confirmed.
Oh.
Also, Corey Graves is a pervert.
Yeah, but why this
Since
time?
Eva has returned, his screen time on his phone has tripled.
What's happening here? Did he just volunteer this information?
He just said it on the commentary.
I've been doing loads of wanks. Right,
I'm Corey.
I've been doing loads of wanks.
I'm Corey Graves, and I've been doing lodes of wanks.
Well, Carmella.
Oh, what a
He works
catchphrase.
on Monday now, doesn't he? So he can't see Carmella on a Monday.
Imagine, we've run out of time on this week's Monday Night Raw. I've been Corey Graves, and I've been just doing loads of them.
I am blistered beyond all recognition.
I'm Red Raw.
It's just dust.
Karrion Kross beats Keith Lee, right? Now, this match has got an interesting backstory because it was reported that actually the plan was for Karrion Kross to lose once again to Jeff Hardy. Reports then indicated that this would bring back Scarlett, who would bring out the gladiator in Karrion Kross. But instead, Jeff Hardy couldn't make the show or was like off the show. Hopefully he's all right if he's ill or whatever. But...
You tested positive for...
Oh, did he?
For thingy, yeah.
Oh, right. Fair enough then.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he gets well soon and everything. But they brought in instead then Keith Lee to lose to Karrion Kross. So we've gone from Karrion Kross losing the match to winning the match, and the man they chose to be the last-minute losing replacement was Keith Lee, which is heartbreaking,
It's
really.
weird because you could have still... You didn't necessarily need it to be Jeff Hardy that beat him to continue this story on. You could have just had Keith beat him, and he still goes wild anyway. You could have still done that.
Yeah.
Unless the plan is for Kross versus Hardy to be the first Monday Night Raw feud,
Why?
in which case you need that. It just seems... What a weird time for Keith Lee. Like,
It's
Yeah.
worrying for Keith.
bittersweet to see him
Keith
back.
just being rolled back in there to lose to Karrion Kross after Kross has lost to Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
After Jeff Hardy has lost to the likes of Elias so far in 2021. It's not a good thing for Keith, but hopefully we'll learn why he's been missing first and foremost. I hope he's okay.
He
and
says
all
he's
that
going to
stuff,
tell
yeah.
us. I was going to mention this in the news, but he says he's going to tell us why on Twitter. He said in a week or so, give me a
He
week
said,
or
give
two.
give me a week or two.
And then Josiah Williams chimed in and said, if you need my help, let me know. He's the rapper from NXT and stuff. Very, very good. But I wonder if that means it's a musical thing, or is that just Josiah chancing his arm?
It could be just Josiah chancing his arm, to be honest with you. I did the same. I went, Keith, if you want to come and talk about it, as well as your 3 favourite wrestling matches to watch while stranded on a desert island,
Can you imagine
There
if he
is
just went,
more
"All right."
chance, Tom, of hell freezing over.
straight to hell freezing over.
Oh, no, not even that. WWE hate us. All the big companies hate us.
Mr.
They do. We can't get interviews. It's terrible.
Mustafa Ali.
Terrible. We're not nasty people.
Yeah, we're not. Next up on this terrible
We're
show,
nice.
Mustafa Ali and Mansoor team up to take on Mason T-Bar, who are still there. They're hanging on, lads.
Lions eat antelopes. Snakes eat grass. Wolves, they eat sheep. Bar, the laws of the jungle are pretty simple to me. The small,
Jungle
that's
sheep.
them, exist to feed the large. That's us.
They lost the match. They lost the match to Mustafa Ali and Mansoor.
Bah!
Who Mansoor was absolutely buzzing after this, and even Mustafa Ali, he was like begrudgingly like, we did win, we did beat the big lads.
Do you want to have a heavy prediction put
Go
on
on.
your shoulders right now? Raw Tag Team Champions and new in Saudi Arabia, Mansoor.
T-Bar,
No, yeah, Mansoor and Mustafa.
I'm really worried that I've just spat on your laptop.
Well, there's more.
go back to the-
Don't you worry about
Can I
that. That's
just-
at least that laptop's
That
worried.
promo, lions eat antelopes, correct. Snakes eat grass.
Oh.
Snakes also eat antelope. That's a good answer.
They just go through various things that eat antelope. Snakes eat antelope. Wolves probably would eat antelope.
Basically, we are antelope.
Yeah.
And you said it there, Jack. All those sheep in the jungle, of course.
Well, yeah. The
What
law
was
of
it?
the
Sheep,
jungle.
the law of the jungle. Christ, lads, come
Dude,
on.
it was a really good match, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
T-Bar, the kick he did at the start, and then just the combination, the tricks and the flicks that the little lads were doing to do the wrestling moves to the big lads was fantastic.
It's easy to forget that it's Dijakovic still. He's still really good. Yeah. Bobby Lashley is here to answer Goldberg's challenge. He says he's not even going to dignify it with an answer, though, even less than Roman gave Cena. But he's interrupted by, of all people, former friend Cedric Alexander, who argues about the Hurt Business breaking up, even though he should have brought up this grievance quite some time ago. It feels a bit late now. Shelton then interrupts and says, Cedric, your voice annoys me, but I do agree with you. I think that Lashley's a nasty man for breaking up the Hurt Business. They both wrestle him, and Lashley wins with ease.
I like no-nonsense Bobby Lashley. He just says, I want to face them. Let's do it at the same time. Let's go. I like that sort of stuff from Bobby Lashley. It's weird to see Cedric and Shelton, who have been feuding on Raw now for a little while, just go, we're feuding. We don't like each other. But then we'll wrestle Bobby and be a well-oiled tag team machine.
Yeah, almost as if little thought was put into this segment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how they've avoided what they did so often in the last 12 months, which is go, oh, there's a match happening at a pay-per-view. Here's the graphic. This time, like both champs are going, no, I don't think so. Yeah. And they're going to keep us guessing because I think they know SummerSlam's going to sell out. Yeah. So they don't need to put up, and you kind of nudge, wink, know where it's going. But I like that they're keeping us guessing up until
that was another thing.
That is a good point.
From that call last night, 40,000 seats have been sold of the 45,000 available.
40,000? Whoa, that's big.
It's going to be the biggest.
Oh, it's a stadium, isn't it? In Vegas.
The biggest non-WrestleMania gate in the history of the company or something. Wow. I forget what it was.
Even more so from SummerSlam 92 from
Wembley. Yeah, Wembley, maybe not Wembley.
Maybe not bigger than that one.
Maybe it's in America.
Yeah, that's some sort of quote like that, yeah. Nick Khan, quotes.
AJ Styles and Omos have a secret sneaky meeting with Miz and Morrison backstage. Then it goes into a match with Morrison versus Riddle, and AJ and Omos help Morrison win the match, with Omos providing a distraction by breaking Riddle's scooter. AJ Styles then hits the Styles Clash on Riddle after the match.
Can I nominate, I'm sure you have a match, move of the week.
I've got one, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because I was going to hoy in there Morrison's Razor's Edge rock bottom that he does.
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of lifts him up. And it was probably an 8 on 10 for execution, but 10 on 10 for creativity.
Listen to 8 on 10 on execution.
It just reminded me of porridge. Beans, 10 on 10.
Beans, 10 on 10.
Use the sausage as a breakwater. No, yeah, it's very nice. It's a very nice move.
It's a lovely move.
Reginald, the man of the show, successfully this isn't even a joke. We were talking about him off before the show. We couldn't stop talking about Reginald. Reginald successfully defends the 24/7 title against R-Truth before avoiding the rest of the 24/7 division with flips. Now, I've undersold in my words there how good Reginald was here.
And that's because you need to stop and Richard play the thing.
Oh my. Oh, baby.
And we're back in the room. That's because my move of the week is Reginald's initial flip during his entrance. He's taken what Sin Cara used to do back in the day, and he's done it better. And he's done it while defying the laws of physics. He has the trampoline there. He jumps on the trampoline, but he turns sideways so he's facing the art camera, and then does a thing in the air. And he lands on his feet.
Outrageous.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And then sassy Sin Cara piped up going, well, he's not doing it in a mask when the lights are off. And then Reginald replied, I don't know if he replied directly, but I saw someone put together a lovely screenshot, so I hope it's true. But he says, I was in the circus for 16 years, so I hope I could do that. So take that one, Sin Cara.
Why did Sin Cara stick his head up the parapet and just go, well, I couldn't do it, but I had problems with mine. Like, why let the guy crack on?
What I've learned here as well is that Ross Tweddle's move of the week doesn't necessarily have to be a wrestling move.
It could be anything. I almost gave it to Paul Heyman's Wabadoo at the start of SmackDown. It could be anything. It's just the thing from the week that sticks out in my mind the most as being the best thing in wrestling. And Reggie, beyond any shadow of any doubt, is the best thing in wrestling today.
He really is.
All of the companies ever.
Also, clean pinfall over former NWA World Heavyweight Champion R-Truth, which is...
with a flipping teabag, no less.
With his
and that's not me putting emphasis on the word teabag. He did a flipping teabag. He flipped into the teabag. The bars went in the mouth after the flip.
Charlotte Flair, in the main event, beats Nikki Cross. It's a non-title match. We talked about that earlier. Charlotte wins, so Nikki grants her a rematch next week, which is the bit that confused me before, because if the match is already set for SummerSlam, what are you doing, Nikki?
She's proven that she's better.
Charlotte accepts and then just beats Nikki down to end the show. A very sad ending. I feel like next week Rhea will because I don't think Nikki's going to beat Charlotte clean again. Well, she never has. So I think Rhea will stop the match next week. I don't think Charlotte's going to win the title. If Charlotte wins the title next week, no.
I wouldn't be too against this because presumably that would mean someone's getting a big a big crowd popping victory at the SummerSlam, and hopefully it's Rhea
think
Ripley.
so if it was anyone other than Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte, who's lost titles on 11 occasions.
Yeah, she
But won
brags
them on
about
12.
being such,
To be the 16-time world champion, you need to lose the title
Yeah.
that amount of times as well. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility there, Tom. But once again, I'm looking at the assault after the full-time whistle, so to speak. And it's just making Charlotte look cleverer. More clever than the other people she's in the ring with.
Yeah.
She just beats them
Charlotte
down.
Flair.
I know, but it shouldn't be that way, should it? Not all the time.
She's the dirtiest player in
No,
the game.
everyone. Nah, but now she's
No, she
now
battles
she's
out.
the cerebral assassin.
Yeah, she's more like Triple H than she is. She's always been more Triple H than she was Ric
She's
Flair.
basically Triple H, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels all rolled into one neat package.
NXT. Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. I feel like that was too quick a segue there. Raw, not my favourite Raw ever.
They've kind of gotten back to where they were. Like they had that first week back in front of fans. I really liked the show. Got quite excited for the show. And this week it kind of felt like, this is the Raw. That
Could have been worse.
we know and loathe
Yeah,
right
it
now.
it could have been worse.
But it could have been better.
Could have been better as well. NXT, Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan beat Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher after interference from a returning Ridge Holland. We'd heard reports that he was ready to go again. And then he beats down Thatcher afterwards. Now, Matthew's not here, so we don't have to hear him go, you shouldn't be beating down Tim Thatcher. Sorry, get well soon. I keep forgetting why he's not here.
Why is Matthew so against
Matthew
being
hates
down
NXT as a
Thatcher?
concept. That's what I've learned on the
but
podcast.
he's also a massive fan of just Germany as a nation.
Yeah, I
and
see.
Timothy Thatcher was big in WXW. And yeah.
Right, I get that.
I'm
then.
genuinely starting to think that Matthew thinks Walter's the best wrestler of all time.
Well, he is. That's fine.
Right, okay, see.
It makes sense for Holland to come back and align with Dunn and Lorcan. Initially, it doesn't go, hang on, didn't Lorcan injure him? But then Ridge can do the whole, he was strong enough to beat thee up. I'm gonna be his mate. It's just Yorkshire, innit? You have a fight with someone, then you have a drink with them. It's
Andrew all the time.
Andrew is forever doing that.
Try to fight me
Alex
when we first
will
met.
have a fight with someone in a
Yeah.
pub, and then she'll have an espresso martini with him.
An espresso, very Yorkshire drink.
A very Yorkshire drink espresso martini.
Fancy a brew. Fancy one of them espresso martini.
An espresso martini? You get an alcoholic coffee? Never.
Love the idea.
But this match was exactly what it said
No,
on the
wait.
tin.
Hang on. I'm sure you're a fan of a White Russian from time to time.
I do like a White Russian. mate.
Exactly.
A big
Vladimir Kozlov.
Lebowski. Hello, can I have
No, I was trying to think.
a what?
Obviously, the synapses in your brain worked quicker on that. Okay.
Vladimir Kozlov.
A White
'Cause
Russian.
he's-
You kept it wrestling as well. Fantastic.
He looks amazing. He looks like an NPC
He's
from
not
Grand
even-
Theft Auto Vice City.
I was supposed to say, is he even white anymore? He's got a lovely tan.
He's got a nice little colour to him, hasn't he? on
Like
his
Dave
cheeks?
Batista, sort of bronzed. But I was looking, speaking of bronze, and this match was exactly what it said on the tin. Thatcher, Ciampa, Dunn and Lorcan, big slapping men,
Yes.
slapping all kinds of meat. Ron Seal, I've called it here, and that's not because of the skin of Pete Dunne, which looks like he's been painted with Ron Seal.
Oh, okay.
Very, very, very brown. Like
Yeah.
too brown, some might say.
Like a fence.
Like a fence.
It's like a wooden fence.
They call him
moving
Ron Seal
fence.
because they weathered a lot.
Yes. Shame on Wade Barrett as well for buying into the stereotype that because they had to explain what the word scrap means in England.
scrap.
Have to have a scrap, and he said it's what happens when all of the pubs close in England.
Oh, shut up now.
So get out of the way. I've been a drinker, a social drinker, for around about 12 years at this point, and I have seen one scrap as they've defined it there.
You clearly have not been through Big Market at any point in the last 2 weeks. Because like every night I've walked home through Big Market, it is just kicking off.
People haven't been out for a while.
People haven't been out. They've been like caged
yeah.
animals. Like
Yeah.
the first night I worked late till 10 and I got a taxi through Big Market and I felt like I was at a safari.
Oh, Tom, this is
Was
the
the
North.
people jumping on the car trying to rip off the-
No, but more so than
They all
normal.
had the tops off and they were shouting about the football.
Yes!
It's such a stereotype,
They
Tom.
were at least two people at two different traffic
Tom-
lights jumped on the car.
I went to Wolverhampton bus station and nearly got attacked by a man.
What are you doing that for? You never go to Wolverhampton bus
So I'm
station.
saying Newcastle's not the only rough place around.
Wolverhampton bus station.
Wolverhampton bus station.
They rebuilt that bus station, but when they finished building it, they realised this is a true story. They built the shelter 2 feet too small, so none of the buses could get in.
Fantastic.
It's not like Haymarket bus station. Haymarket bus station, they gave a glass roof right? And in the summer, it got really hot one, yeah? And the glass roof exploded.
Nice.
Do you remember that a few years ago? The Haymarket bus station, roof
I
explosion.
feel like I should remember
Oh, man alive. Imagine being in there.
People
Be like
picking glass out of their Greg's sausage rolls.
Nick Gage death match.
Yeah.
Imagine Nick Gage. I'm here, Haymarket bus station.
They've started without me.
Made the roof go pop. MDK. All day.
Speaking of
Pip
it,
cheerio. That's what it sounds like. Hello there, I'm Nick Gage. MDK all day.
don't mention the war.
I was very, very drunk.
Samoa Joe invites William Regal to the ring. He says he knows Regal is going to fire Karrion Kross, but Samoa Joe has a better plan. One centered very much around paperwork, which Joe is handily.
And I just punched that on you there. Inadvertently, so.
Could have been hilarious.
Joe has a plan instead, which is all based around paperwork, which he's handily done already, which is fantastic. Very efficient admin. He wants Regal to accept, first of all, his resignation as a member of NXT management, sign him back as an active roster member, and then book a title match for TakeOver against Karrion Kross. And Regal does. And Regal doesn't say a word, I don't think, for this whole promo.
Avenge
very
him.
cross. He looks very
Avenge him.
Yeah.
I like the tease of it all, though. The bait and switch of like, oh man, Samoa Joe's not going to be doing the wrestling. It's just a managerial thing. Oh man. But now we've got what we want.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler.
I feel like we've burned through that very quick though. Like I liked the idea of Joe maybe being an
Right then,
enforcer for a
Tom.
little while longer.
Do you want to do this yourself? Sorry. Do you want to...
Hey, look, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Triple H in that media call. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
What were you saying,
I
Tom?
liked it. And I like the bit where Samoa Joe went and got the table and chairs himself. Because obviously he's been working in management
was like
and he's a
watching-
man of all trades.
It's like watching Rate My Takeaway, but in an NXT ring.
Rate my takeaway.
Shout out to Rate My Takeaway, who
Absolutely.
gave 3 different takeaway establishments in Newcastle upon Tyne. This fine city, 10 out of 10.
I'm livid
What a
we missed him.
fantastic
I'm
place we
livid
live.
we missed him.
I've been to 2 of the 3 that he went to. Gingerino's spot on, brilliant pizza
Lovely
place.
pizza.
Just around the corner as well. I can't remember the name of it.
So we were Google Maps right now. guys.
Davies,
So
was it
there's
Davies
Gingerino's.
breakfast?
Davies, I think, yeah. The one with the yellow sign. That's literally, you can see my... I shouldn't reveal this either.
What are you doing? You could see a statue that Jack once had a Jimmy Riddle against.
You get very close to my area of town.
You can see Jack's bedroom window.
No, you can't see my bedroom window. But basically, that one I went to once. Don't know if it was because I was hungover, but it was all right. I got a baguette with sausage, beans, and hash brown in it. I was like, this is going to be amazing. And sure enough, it was a baguette with sausage, beans, and hash brown in it. But that was
That's
it.
Good.
But it
No
wasn't...
sauce.
No sauce.
No sauce.
No sauce. No, I don't think I'm friendly.
That's a very dry sandwich.
There was beans in it.
Oh, beans in it. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon.
No,
beg my
there's
pardon.
beans, there's beans.
I beg all the pardons.
There was beans.
Apparently, if you stand outside Gingerino's and start singing the Metro rap,
Mama.
you'll find where Jack lives. You'll just so it's like that
That's
scene
like
from
Zelda.
it's like that scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit where he's going Jim and a haircut, burst through the wall.
The last place he went to, I've not been to, but it looks amazing. It's an Indian lunchbox
The little
takeaway
lunchbox
thing.
Indian
lunchbox
takeaway. Yeah, whatever it was called.
Yum, yum, yum. Carmelo Hayes beats Josh Briggs in the breakout tournament. I feel like the breakout tournament, I find it hard to get excited for it.
Yeah, especially early on.
Nothing against the guys in the breakout tournament. But yes,
But no,
especially early on.
You do look back at the last one they did, and to a man, I think just about every single guy who was in that 2019 breakout tournament is a big time player on the next now.
Everybody from that tournament is now on NXT or Raw except the guy who won it.
Who?
ACH.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else has gravitated to NXT or Raw from that point except
Who
him.
did he beat in the final? Was it Grimes? Or it might have been Swerve Scott? Was he even in it? No,
Yeah,
it might
Swerve
have
was
been-
in it. Grimes was in it. Angel
Josh
Garza was in it.
Yet what was it? No,
Dexter
that wasn't-
Loomis was in it. Bronson
Bronson
Reed was in it.
Grimes was in it.
Like everybody went on to do big things, and the guy
I
who won
feel
it
like-
is no longer with the company.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but I feel like prior to that first breakout tournament, I'd already heard of a lot of the guys in it, whereas this one, I've heard of far less of the guys in it. I don't know if that's just me being behind the times.
Well, I think a few of these guys are from Evolve.
I'm not that familiar with the
That's probably why they're with it. Whereas a guy, a lot of your guys like Dexter Loomis and
Your Dexters.
and such, and Jonah Rock, we'd seen in other indies beforehand. So there's
Duke Hudson is a fantastic name. But
I
also,
thought Duke might just mow through it.
yeah, but also,
I want Odyssey to win, I think.
I think that'll be the final.
Odyssey, I was thinking of. So yeah, Odyssey. I thought he'd mow through it.
I don't know what the bracket looks like, but that would be a good final. It'd be Duke Hudson versus Odyssey Jones.
It would.
But I was thinking Duke sat next to Wade. I was thinking, are they the same man? Because they look the same. Big, rugged men.
With sharp features.
But Josh Briggs is apparently 6'8", and he didn't look like he was 6'8" during this match because he was bumping like a fiend for a very small, comparatively man.
The Fiend no-sells everything, though. I didn't mention Seth's laugh in that Edge promo as well. When he said, like, he'd break his neck and he goes, it was proper, like, he was bent double.
The bang and poof that he lets out, Seth Rollins in that promo, just like, bang, poof.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the dirt is gone.
Raquel Gonzalez. Try it again. I'll try to sound like my old English teacher. You can roll your R's quite well.
Raquel.
And Dakota
That was Borat, wasn't it? Whoa, Raquel. Very nice.
Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai are out for a promo. Dakota Kai cuts a very, not self-aggrandizing, a very Raquel-aggrandizing promo saying she's the best. This women's division is great because of one woman. She doesn't say the name of that one woman. As long as Dakota Kai has Gonzalez's back, she will always be champion. They pose. Gonzalez gets up on the turnbuckles, she steps down, and then round not the outside of the ring, but round the ropes comes Dakota Kai, boot to the face. She's turned on Raquel Gonzalez, and everyone loved it. There was a cheer before Dakota Kai was in shot. As they saw her running, everyone went, yeah!
She's doing it.
I love Dakota Kai. I think she's class.
She was fantastic in that segment. She had me going.
Cake.
Didn't see it coming.
Sorry. No, did you not? Well, I saw the spoilers before, so unfortunately.
I didn't.
Everyone cheered, but in terms of like the writing, is this a face turn or a heel turn?
Yeah, I don't know.
Face.
No.
Because they've been heelish.
No, she's
ostensibly faces.
She's a heel who's remained heel. Raquel's turned face.
Right.
I think it's not a turn. I think it's just a.
If anything, it's been a
incident.
slow burn turn for Raquel and
Yes.
and an establishing of dominance for Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
That might just be me. Because I find Raquel, no offense, like I'm sure she's just fulfilling the role they want her to, but I find her incredibly boring.
Yeah.
I think something like this might make you change your mind.
Hopefully so.
Gonzalez and
'cause she's-
Kai working together.
You know, the big mammy cool where you just are literally being like, Harry, I'm cool. I'm Raquel. Here's me back.
It's kind of like imagine if Batista got the world title while still in Evolution.
That is good, that Tom. What a fantastic wrestling mind you have there. But yeah, hopefully this brings it, because obviously working with someone who you've been so close to for a while will presumably help out in the wrestling, bringing the best out of each other. So hopefully we get there. But for me, it's Dakota turned babyface there for me.
Right, fair enough.
Aye.
For you.
Is that just for me?
I think that's just for you, but it's one of those cool.
I'm all alone.
It's one of those ones where everyone will cheer her because she's class. Class. Next up, right, I'm getting confused by the politics of this whole situation involving Frankie Monet and Mandy Rose and Robert Stone. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's the leader. Is Frankie Monet the leader? Is Mandy Rose the overall? Is she the higher power?
That three-headed dog from Greek mythology. Or whatever.
Cerberus.
I feel like Mandy Rose, because she came from Raw, is therefore the leader.
Who's the leader?
But
They
no,
need a leader.
They
They
could
need
be,
a-
yeah. But Frankie Monet, she could be, or maybe it's like
Maybe it's Robert Stone still.
Stone's
He's still trying to help out.
Yeah, but he's been.
He's gonna get cast.
isn't he?
He's
Yeah.
gonna get cast adrift soon as Stone. He's putting his foot in it a bit too much, isn't he?
So what happened was Frankie Monet teamed with Jesse Kamea, but they lost to Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter after an attempted interference by Robert Stone turned into an inadvertent distraction. He threw his man bag or his man purse into the ring, and it cost Frankie and Jesse Kamea the match. And he was trying to impress them and get back in their good graces. Robert, this is crap. I don't like this storyline.
I'm just not biting on any of these characters, which is a shame.
Because
I like Robert Stone.
there's charismatic people in it. Frankie Monet, Robert Stone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's all the pieces there, but I'm just not biting on it. I'm just not. You know, Mandy Rose being amongst it. It's like, so you broke.
I love Mandy Rose in NXT these days when she just sits there looking at people who, in my opinion, are better at wrestling than Mandy Rose is. Even though she hasn't really been given the chance to showcase what she can do in proper big matches. But in my opinion, simply based on what I've seen, in my professional opinion as a wrestling journalist, watching Mandy Rose going like, "Yeah, kid, you're quite good. I like the look of you.
Right.
Yeah, kid." It's
I'm
quite funny.
Frank
It's funny.
Gotch.
It's
You're
funny to me.
okay.
Yeah. I'm Mandy Luthez Rose. It's funny to me, and that's why I like Mandy.
Imperium beat Ashante the Adonis and Top Dollar of Hit Row, of course, after a run-in from Legado del Fantasma, attacking Isaiah Swerve Scott on the outside. So then Hit Row are like, stop it, and then they lose the match. But the heels try to do a beatdown, and Swerve Scott saves the day with a steel chair and chases them off. And everyone is like, yes, he's over. This kid's over, brother.
Yeah, Hit Row are popular.
Yeah.
I like.
I really thought you were going to go Hit Row popping.
And they are popping.
Speaking of someone who did a rap at the start of the show, I can't really talk.
You are basically the Mandy Rose of rap.
Yeah.
They're very beloved at the moment.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. I like the cut of their jib.
Yes.
And I think they're going to. I think it's going to turn them face. If they're not face.
Oh,
They're kind of face already. Yeah. Them in Dakota.
Especially against Legado del Fantasma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shades of grey at the moment in the wrestling.
I'll tell you what isn't a shade of grey, though, Tom. I'll tell you what's a shade of sexy.
Red.
And that is Marcel Bartel, who has spawned into a beautiful young boy recently. My goodness, the muscles on that man. They are a poppin', to take the phrase from the rap game. But yeah. Top Dollar's got a fantastic touch for a big man as well.
Oh, I've hit the mic. Sorry, you can say that again, maybe.
Top Dollar has got a fantastic touch for a big man.
Yes, absolutely.
He's keeping up with the small lads during that match. It was a good match. I like Hit Row. And once again on the podcast, we need to say, never ever send them to the main roster. Never ever, because they just won't get them.
Do you get it? They're rappers.
No.
You'd be quite good at this. If they were going on the main roster and going to do a rap, I was like here last week trying to do it and I couldn't do it very well. What would they be rapping like, Tom?
Oh, they'd be very, very PG friendly rap, wouldn't it?
We are Hit Row.
We're here to hey, if you're looking at us, you're out of luck. Hey, Usos, you really suck. Oh, hey, did you hear that, Pat? They said the Usos suck. They don't like the Upham. They don't like it
Well,
Upham.
my name is Ashante the Adonis, and I'm here to say, don't do drugs and stay in school. As we all like.
The moment they come over and go, hi, yes, Bruce Bridges has written your rap. That's when you need to leave the room.
Vince McMahon is the very best man that I've ever seen in my life. Cameron Grimes. Oh, this was so good.
There we go.
Cameron Grimes. This was. I've shoved it all together, but this was in like 3 separate vignettes. Cameron Grimes is caddying for LA Knight on the golf course. Things just keep going wrong for LA Knight. He's losing wages to Grimes. He's hitting the ball into the water, and then he hits the ball.
Who? Sorry?
What?
Who's
Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, who's with them though?
LA Knight.
No.
The Rock. Sorry. Cameron Grimes is caddying for Dwayne The Rock Johnson on the golf course. Things keep going wrong for Dwayne until, he hits the ball into the water and then says, get my ball. And then Grimes goes down to get the ball. He's still in quite a good-natured mood, though, because he's winning. And then Ted DiBiase rocks up on a golf cart and gives him... And he's a total hypocrite, by the way.
Oh, be big time. I was not a fan of Ted in this segment.
No.
Giving a pep talk to Cameron Grimes after fancying The Rock so much during that feud. What
It's
are you doing,
outrageous.
Ted?
He says, you're not meant to be a loser. You're meant to be a winner and a champion and all that. And then he drives off. Later on, my favourite part of the whole segment, the grizzled young vets arrive in matching red golf attire. And then Zach Gibson here was absolutely brilliant. He's like, hey, play through. Let us play through, lad. You're so slow. And they're all like, oh, The Rock's obviously like, let me tell you something.
Dummy, yeah.
And then they bet, well, how does it go? They bet $20,000 that whoever can get the ball in the hole first.
Is it a hole in one?
It's just whoever gets it in first.
Okay.
It just so happens that Cameron Grimes is amazing. The Rock hits the ball, it goes in the water, and Zach Gibson goes, I don't know if I can even repeat it without laughing. He goes, how's he even got the nerve to smile? It's so funny. It's like one of the funniest things I've seen all year in wrestling. It's just, I don't know if it's because we're English or not, but it's just the LA Knights, The Rock is gutted, and it's just got Gibson just go, how's he even got the nerve to smile? Oh man!
It's a wonder people from Liverpool know what golf is. It's quite an expensive sport, isn't it?
Oh my word!
Pew pew pew.
We're not
I'm
exactly
joking,
from.
I know,
we're not exactly from.
I hate golf.
Even mini golf.
Mini golf's different. I like a bit of mini
that's a
golf.
laugh.
But,
Mini golf.
as my father would say back in the day, golf is a good walk spoiled.
Oh, nice.
There was a lot of highlights during this thing. I like just at the start where Cameron Grimes, it looks like he's having a Tommy tug, but he's not. He's cleaning the ball.
In the ball. Look at that, Pat.
I should mention, of course, Grimes wins the wager.
Yeah.
He swings back, hits The Rock in the balls.
I got flashbacks there. When I was in year 4,
Oh, no.
our school like had an activity day or something. And there was a little golf chipping thing. You could chip the ball into the bucket sort of thing. And I was having a go. Having never played golf before, when I was like, how old are you in year 4? 9? 8, 9? Something like that.
Around that, yeah.
And proper legitimate golf club, metal on the end, swung it back, caught a kid right there, split their eyebrow open.
Ooh.
I was told off by their dad. And I was like, well, not my fault.
Well, they should have been stood behind you.
Shouldn't have been stood there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't say I started crying.
Yeah.
Felt bad.
But
So if David Newland's watching,
looking back, no, you're
Sorry.
No, your dad's
Sorry, I didn't do it sooner.
Your dad's wrong. Yeah. Like to apologise for absolutely nothing. Okay, nothing.
Ted DiBiase, by the way, got a bit of grief online this week. Did you see this?
No.
So Ted DiBiase put a thing out saying,
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man, and I've got a price for you to design me a new T-shirt. He was putting out a call for
artists to design a new T-shirt, and the prize would be like a $200 Ted DiBiase collector's pack or something. To which everybody online went, you grifter. You just like pay artists to design you a T-shirt. Like pay artists. Like don't get artists to do it for free just because it looks fun and easy. Pay artists, and that's basically what everybody said.
He's been chatting to Virgil again. He's mates with him. They've made up. Yes, that was a great part of the show. I thought it was brilliant.
Shooter McGavin. I've just realised. I've said for the longest time that The Rock on NXT is like Shooter McGavin in a character.
And he golf.
And he went and did golf.
Yes.
Like Shooter McGavin. Happy Gilmore is Cameron Grimes. Yeehaw.
Then Grimes convinces Knight, who was all a bit knocked woozy because he hit him in the head as well, a la Ross Tweddle. And then he convinces him, he said it was them, it was the Grizzly Young Vets, and then Knight chases them away. Grimes has won the day again. This Butler thing is going pretty well for him. And in the main event, Adam Cole beats Bronson Reed, but Kyle O'Reilly then runs out and batters him with a chair and then takes apart the ring steps and suplexes him onto the ring steps, as Adam Cole has done to Kyle O'Reilly so many times previously.
Synergy.
So what do we do for Cole O'Reilly 3 then? Because we've had non-sanctioned match that went the distance.
Yes.
We had sort of fair to middling TV encounter. So what do we do for your 3rd?
A Matthew Gregg special guest referee match. Because Matthew despises NXT's little indie boy kick-outy style. Yeah. And I would like to do the fastest count imaginable at the start.
Have Adam Cole assault Kyle O'Reilly so bad with a chair that Kyle O'Reilly just reverts back to Undisputed Era Kyle O'Reilly.
He's funny again.
Yeah. He's good again. But I'm not buying, lads. A Panama Sunrise to Bronson Reed from Adam Cole.
No.
Too far for me, that Jeff. Too far. He's a big, strong boy.
He's a big, strong boy.
He shouldn't be taking that move.
It's true, actually. You could have powered out of that quite easily.
Yes, absolutely.
As we all know, because we've all been in that position of a Panama Sunrise.
Ahead of this podcast, before we came in, we thought, before we say this thing about Bronson Reed, all the Panama Sunrise.
We were just doing them on each other in a circle. It was fantastic.
Patreon.com/Cultaholic for footage of that.
It's a Friday thing now. Now we're back in the office.
Panama Fridays. And finally, AEW Fight for the Fallen, the latest in AEW's string of very eventful kind of special editions of Dynamite, like the Fuse. Hangman Page and... We're starting off with Heartbreak. Hangman Page and the Dark Order lose to the Elite in the 10-man elimination tag match, meaning that Hangman, for now, will not get his title shot against Kenny Omega.
I'm fine with it.
There's a long way to go.
I believe you'll get there
There's
eventually.
loads of time. You know when you receive the ball when you're playing football and there's no one around you, but you can only see in this direction. You don't know who's behind you. And all your teammates give you a shout to let you know there's no one behind you.
Man on.
No, to let you know there's no one behind you.
No man on.
Time.
Yeah. Time.
Man off.
This is what I'd be shouting to Hangman Page right now. There's a few weeks left. There's about a month left until...
I just hope he doesn't turn to the bottle a bit too drastically, because that's my worry.
That entrance.
Both
of them.
Both the entrances were brilliant, weren't they? Just stunning. I know you'll have stuff to say about the Elite's entrance.
No.
But the Hangman Page...
what it was.
It's great, wasn't it? But the Hangman Page Dark Order one, especially beautiful and a little bit like, oh God. When they're all stood on the ramp and the spotlights are shining on them, then Paige walks through the middle. Oh, look at this! Look, this is when wrestling's good. When wrestling's good, it does that, right? And you can sit there and go, "Oh, the AEW fanboy, shut up! I like wrestling that's good." And wrestling's good when it does that, right? And that entrance where they're all walking out and they all stand there, especially poignant. It wasn't really the aircon, by the way. I genuinely got goosebumps.
No, I'm freezing.
Oh, fair enough. there's an extra spotlight on the end with no one in it.
Yes.
And once you go, it's a lovely little bit.
It's a great moment.
Lovely little bit. There is stuff that AEW still doesn't quite touch the size with, but there's little minutiae moments like that I think they just nail.
Yeah.
They don't say it. And had that been on, and I'll say it again, had that been on WWE, Mogul going, well, that spotlight on the end is for no. Just
Tom
have
is
it.
provoking the wrath.
Let it be. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
Show don't tell sometimes.
Show don't tell. Exactly.
Sean Paul.
It was lovely.
Blue Cantrell. Let it breathe.
Let it breathe. When you said that, the first Sean Paul song that came to mind was bloody, yeah, on, girl. Let me give it you. Let me give it you.
So every Sean Paul song.
No. Temperature.
Forty naughty
shorty.
Baby girl. Baby
temperature.
Girl. Want to give it to you? Want to give it to you?
Stop before we go too far. Yes, lovely moment. Great entrances from both teams.
And a finish that really, again, like says we're not at the end yet.
Yeah,
I love the story. Like, he was hanging on for the longest part. Then there was a bit of hope. Then the belts got thrown in. He was hanging on again. Then Omega, who wasn't taking it seriously when it was 3-on-1, started taking it seriously when it was 2-on-1. And then the heartbreak at the end.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. We're on a long and winding road here, like Will Young and Gareth Gates sang about so famously back in the day.
Yeah.
their version, not the Beatles. Will Young and Gareth Gates.
It's a superior version. But there was lots of highlights in this one. Disco Stew, especially, I thought, still
Disco Stew.
Still the thing. Hurricane Rana and an end of days combo from Evil Uno. Wow.
Yeah.
Nick Jackson almost got move of the week. I must note for the Meltzer driver, but he missed, so I can't give him it.
Yeah, but that worked. They got heat for that, which is cool.
They did, yeah. He's crap at basketball anytime. It's the superior basketball men in the room at the moment.
We are indeed, mate. We are indeed.
Of course, we should critique Nick Jackson's basketball technique.
Lacking. Full of heart, but not enough head.
Tell you what,
Matt Jackson, especially at the top of the ramp, fumbling.
Nick Jackson sank a few. I don't think he missed in the warm up. He was actually Nick Jackson. I can tell he's a baller. Or I'll defer to you, obviously. Because,
in the warm up, it doesn't matter. It's when the game. The red light's on, so to speak. When the crowd is live, when the game is in full flow, that's when it matters. And Nick Jackson effed it up.
Backstage we go, where Pac says that the Lucha Bros they're not missing. They're stuck at the airport, so they are missing. They're not here.
They're in the queue at Greg's as they've just come through.
Some anonymous individual cancelled their car. Brilliant line. Such a good delivery.
I got the bloody Uber app waiting and everything. I've been charged a cancellation fee.
It's funny hearing Pac really intensely talk about like logistics, like just boring things. Like
He sounds like a pirate.
yeah, he does. Yeah,
Someone sent them to Terminal 3 when really they need to be at Terminal 4B. Livid.
Chavo and
Whoa! Stop it, down there.
Chavo Guerrero and Andrade El Idolo arrive, telling him that they'll sort them out. They've sent a limo to pick them up. Seeds are being sown.
I like that.
How do you sow? Seeds are being sown around the pasture.
So are we going to see things like what seeds are you sowing?
That's so bad. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on there.
So is this just basically going to be for the next few weeks, Pac and Admin and the Lucha Brothers and stuff? So it'll be like next week going, they turned up and they haven't got their gear with them. And Chavo's like, don't worry, we bought some clothes for them.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And it's like branded. It's like Andrade and Chavo's faces on them and stuff.
I do enjoy how condescending they are towards War Geordie Pack. As heartbreaking as it is, but Chavo explaining the concept of a limo.
Yeah.
to War
A
Geordie Pack.
limousine. It's a long
It's
car.
a long car. It's a long
I know.
boy.
I saw a hen party going
It's the,
past.
car, it's the car version of that massissive duck War Geordie Pack. You'll get it now. I love that duck.
You've ordered a limo. They're not having a hen party.
One thing about Pac in go on.
I've got a story. When I was 13, my 13th birthday, my mum, because a week or two before I'd been in the Hummer limos. One of my pals' parents had hired that for their birthday, and my mum saw that and was like, "Wait, do you want to do that for yours?" And I was like, "Yeah, might as well." It was a fun time. She thought she hired this Hummer limousine to come to my house where there was 13 boys standing there waiting for this big car to arrive. I'll never forget the sight coming around the corner because it was a company who did many sort of different cars. It was a minibus with Playboy logos all over it. We're expecting this stretched, massive, cool-looking white limo to arrive, but what arrived was this dark maroon. I think push that can again. This dark maroon minibus with blacked out windows, and Playboy paraphernalia everywhere. Imagine the embarrassment of being put through that. All the neighbours looking out the window. All the kids were there. All the parents of the kids were there as well. And my mum was like, I felt terrible for my mum that day. No
bless
fault.
her.
God.
It's a good effort.
God. A few lads with six-packs inside. Hey, girls!
Because you got into it. It was just like, it was, honestly, there was a bit
into it.
I remember a bit up there where it looked like it could fold down to be a bed. So, yeah. Maybe Ava Cox had been in there.
I can't believe you've never told that. Is fantastic. Oh, my cheeks hurt. Oh, man.
I'll have to try and remember what the company name was and tarnish their reputation if they're still going today.
Taz introduces Ricky Starks for his title celebration, which includes a brass band playing him to the ring in jazzy fashion because he's from New Orleans, and Hook as a flower boy next to him, which is lovely. Starks talks about how talentless and selfish Brian Cage is, which obviously brings Brian Cage to the ring. He batters the innocent hired brass band, and then Team Taz run away. Well, Ricky Starks runs away. Hook got out the ring and calmly walked off because he timed it right. Cage was on his way down. Hook was like,
That's me done.
Yeah, where Starks did the rest are like, you.
Yeah, I like Hook doing that, actually. It's good planning on Hook's part. He's
Hook's-
the next generation of wrestlers.
Hook gets more and more ripped by the week. Honestly, that boy, he's something else.
I thought this segment didn't do anything for anyone.
No, not really.
No,
Not really.
Didn't land the mark for Ricky Starks. Brian Cage does what Brian Cage always does, but with a drum involved and a trombone. Jim Ross saying there's no place for trombones in wrestling. I think that is scandalous, sacrilege.
Was that a shot at the New Day?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Do you reckon Jim Ross knows the New Day?
Well, yeah, but I doubt he.
The trombone part of the New Day.
I doubt he'd have thought.
Yeah. But I didn't think this segment landed for anybody. Apart from Taz, who got a gif out of it.
Yes.
Tom?
Thought it was all right. I didn't think it was as bad as you're saying it is. It was just a bit of silliness.
Fair enough.
A bit of silliness. And I think if we only get a gif out of it, then there's something, I guess. I like that they try stuff like this. I like that they try and do stuff that's a little bit off the beaten track.
And visually different a bit as well.
A bit visually different as well. And you know what? It's like I said, not all of this stuff touches the sides, and that's fine.
I'm going to be a coward and agree with both of you. I like that they do. I like they try this stuff, but this one didn't land for me. Suddenly, Hiroshi Tanahashi pops up on the screen via video message saying that he wants a shot at the IWGP US Championship, and he's so condescending. He goes,
nice.
I like your title. It has a bit of, well, it's there.
It has a charm to it.
It has a charm to it. And it gave me flashbacks of Hogan decrying the WWF belt in
This is a
Japan.
trinket.
This is a trinket. It's a toy on a Christmas tree. Oh, but Tanahashi, the thing is, from not to get all, I've been to Japan again, but
Did you know he's been?
Have you been to Japan?
yeah. So Tanahashi, from what I can tell,
Should talk about it more.
is like, it is like a Hogan or Cena figure where Smarky fans get annoyed because he's so arrogant and that, but they don't really have that element in Japan. He's just a hero to them, just a massive hero. So he comes across very condescending and proud and stuff, but that's seen as a good quality.
Because he's earned all his stripes.
Yes,
and
but I think to maybe not a Western audience, but to certainly a UK audience, because we hate winners, we're like, oh, get over yourself, mate.
Yeah.
So, well, at least I am. Sam pretends to like him. So, well, no, I mean, 12 minutes of air guitar after you've won a match. How's that going? But we were there, Wrestle Kingdom, Sam's there. He's had 4 strong zeros going, woo! And I'm there like, ugh.
Oh, he actually went, woo!
Probably. He did the thing that, oh no, I don't want to get in trouble. You could take your own drink into the stadium.
Oh,
and
nice.
they'd pour it into things for you and give it to you. It was fantastic service. And then there was a match. It was like Ishii versus like Zack Sabre Jr. There was some quite boisterous British lads a few rows back chanting for Zack Sabre Jr. So Sam started battling them and shouting for Ishii. He drank quite a lot of his drinks by this point, but he did it in the New Japan fan way. So instead of going like, let's go Ishii or whatever, he was going, Ishii! Just like a lone voice in the distance. And I was next to him like, the chair was too small for me.
Do you not like drawing attention to yourself?
I was hungover that day. I think that might answer a lot of the
That
questions.
explains it.
Yeah. But Sam had a marvelous time and won the prediction. He beat me in the predictions. I knew that I'd have to do something horrible. That was it as well. I knew that I'd have to take chops off Henare, a big man. So yeah, I wasn't in the best mood. Yeah.
Andrew lucked out really when you think about it.
He really did.
It's just got us losers hitting him in the pecs.
You know, we wanted to do that punishment like soon after the pay-per-view so people still cared and remembered, because, you know, in the past we've waited weeks and you get the feeling that maybe people aren't too interested. Did you ever get that feeling when we waited weeks to do a punishment?
A little bit sometimes. Depends on the punishment.
So we were a bit like...
Not like the skydiving or whatever, but
but
the more day-to-day ones, yeah.
Out of luck there, because not too many people were in the office now as you got away on that aspect as well, I thought.
Volta was sadly not in that day for Bring Your Favourite Wrestler to Work
He was.
Day.
Adam Pacitti was.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, I think Pacitti filled in for Volta beautifully with that.
FTR, face Santana and Ortiz. We talked about this at the top of the show, as the proper professionals say, not the start, at the top of the show. Cash Wheeler sustaining a bloody arm injury. Harwood ends the match quickly with a brainbuster as Wheeler receives medical attention. And according to PW Insider, he's okay, but nobody knows if he's going to have to miss any ring time yet. So
It was a shame because it was a good match.
It was shaping up to be really good. Both excellent tag
I thought it was
teams.
really good anyway. I like the
Yeah,
fact
it
that
was good
even
anyway.
though P&P were involved, Proud and Powerful, it was a straight up wrestling match with just two teams trying to prove they were the better team.
Yeah.
I
it was
like that
good.
aspect, that switching the character with the very lean, the very lean and very vascular P&P. Do you notice that? Everyone's getting muscles these
Yeah.
days.
Everyone's getting ripped.
Muscle.
Where do I
They-
buy them?
They've all been shut in, haven't they? And people have either eaten a lot of cake or just made gym equipment in their living room.
Made it.
Like-
Furnished it.
Made
like
out of like bottles and stuff. I don't know.
Tony Schiavone announces that the second edition of Rampage, because not that there's been one already, but the second one is going to take place in Chicago.
CM Punk. CM Punk.
The crowd chants CM Punk.
They wouldn't have lingered on that if they weren't, you know.
Yeah.
That was on purpose, wasn't it?
Backstage, Darby Allin says he'll be there, and the only place to prove greatness is in AEW, even if you think that you're the best in the world.
this made me think it's not Punk.
Oh.
No. Here comes the money. Money talks. Here comes the money.
Imagine if after all this, they haven't signed CM Punk.
I know.
Imagine.
I know.
They laid it on
But-
so thick, and then Tony Khan in the post-show press conference going, "No comment, mate. You made all the comments tonight."
It's not like Tony Khan to overpromise something and underdeliver.
That's what I mean. It's very Tony
But
Khan.
literally in Chicago, they have to have CM Punk now. Otherwise, I think I said this to you on the
You
news.
did.
I said, if you haven't got CM Punk, signed, locked in, cancel the Chicago
Might as
show.
well cancel
you
it,
might
yeah.
as well cancel it because it's going to be overrun with CM Punk chants, and you are going to be the most detested wrestling company in the world if you now don't deliver on CM Punk.
I feel like
It's a worry, isn't it?
it is. And
It's
I
a
feel,
worry.
And if
I'm
it
going to watch it and I'll enjoy either CM Punk's return or the hilarity of him not being there.
What else could the first dance be? That's what the show's called, the first
Yeah.
dance. And it's, you know, Chicago.
Well, they could argue it's their first dance in that building. It's their first dance with Rampage in that building. They'll be able to work around and go, it's the first dance of us here.
But yeah, 23,000 seats in that building. I think that they've done a wise thing. But I saw a lot of people, I saw a few people going, why would you spoil that? And it's like you got a brand new show on a brand new day in a massive 23,000 seat arena. Of course you're going to do that.
Yeah, of course. And
Pop a rating
also,
and a buy.
even if everybody knows that he's signed, as long as they don't acknowledge it until he's there, then it's still going to get a huge pop. I think. So.
Hang on, I just realised, best in the world, the first dance, it's Anton de Beek, isn't it? It's Anton de Beek. CM
bad boy of Strictly Come
The
Dancing.
bad boy of Strictly is coming to AEW. Anton de Beek.
What a punchable face he has.
All the man. He reminds me a bit of Rob Brydon.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a
bit of a
Brydon-esque
Brydon look, yeah,
face
yeah.
about him.
I've gone for the knocky.
It's what Rob Brydon thinks he looks like.
Yeah. Oh, Rob Brydon's got a certain old school handsomeness to him.
He
really
does. But he's also
has.
very arrogant, I find.
Oh,
You know,
I find him-
on Would I Lie to You? He comes
I
across
think he's a
really
wonderful
arrogant,
host on Would I Lie to You.
Oh, it just rubs me the
Very
wrong way.
endearing. I enjoyed the trip.
yeah,
trip's very
with Steve
good.
Coogan.
Really good.
As is rolling Gavin and Stacey. It's Uncle
Gavin.
Bryn.
Do you say Garvin or Gareth?
Gavin.
Oh, I thought you said Gareth and Stacey.
I thought you said
Gareth and Will.
Gareth.
The long Lance Archer, yes, successfully defends. Thank you. I felt like a child in a pantomime. The teacher goes, "Follow the star." For yeah,
You're doing great, sweetie.
yeah. Lance Archer successfully defends the IWGP United States title against Hikuleo with Haku there at ringside.
Tikaleo.
Hikuleo? Did I say Tikuleo?
Just the way it blended together. It's like saying Tikaleo.
Against
Oh,
Hikuleo. With Haku at ringside, which was great to see.
Great. Big pop for Haku as well.
He's got you. He's got you.
I still think there's some fun to be had with Haku in a storyline sense in it.
Yes.
I still think there's some fun to be had there.
I was so scared when I saw Simon Miller in a video stood next to Haku. Simon Miller, I thought, was the biggest man I'd ever met. And then I saw Haku next to him in a video, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's like when in a sci-fi or whatever, when a big fish gets eaten by the bigger one comes along. Oh.
Hikuleo is the only person on planet Earth who can say, "My dad could beat up your dad," and it be true.
For everyone, yeah.
He's the only person that's allowed to say that.
Yeah, go and watch Straight to Hell with Tama Tonga, by the way, on the channel, because that's the first question I asked him. What was it like growing up with Haku being your dad? Must have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You could do anything and just say, well, Haku's my dad.
But then if you were naughty and you came home and Haku saw you being naughty.
Next up, Alex Morvez is about to do an interview with Cody and Gorilla, and Cody starts in very Cody fashion to go like, "Well, you know what they say," and then just gets taken out by Malachi Black.
It's fantastic.
Malachi Black attacks Cody, drags him out onto the stage, doesn't hit the black mask, but like a different kick, but it looked excellent. I liked it a lot.
Tight trousers.
Tight trousers. He couldn't do it.
Hampering his room, yeah, his movement.
But then he did afterwards, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, because then he did do the black mass to Fuego del Sol, Fire of the Sun, when he came out alongside many other wrestlers and crew and stuff to try and break it up, and he got hit with the black mass, and Aleister Black was like, my work here is done. And,
Cody Rhodes is a coward. That's where I'm going to start there. I want Cody to fully declare himself a heel in professional wrestling, because once again, he started off that promo like he's the Hulk Hogan of AEW, so to speak, and it's not working. You're not a babyface, Cody. No one likes you anymore. You overstayed your welcome, buddy lad. Go full heel, you coward.
He was wearing all white, and his opponent's wearing all black. If you look closely, there's some symbolism there.
I remember the match graphic they've used, like the light versus the dark.
The god of AEW. Cody Rhodes, our Lord and Savior, Cody Rhodes. However, man, Cody, turn heel, will you? We're waiting for you.
Cody is getting booed out of the building.
Yes,
I don't
he
know.
is.
What do you in Jacksonville? So there might be a little bit of ground.
Yeah, it's Cody Town, brother.
It's Cody down.
Cody Town.
I like the little signs on the wall, though. It was like EVP. That's where Cody was sat. Coach. That's where Jerry Lynn was
Jonathan
sat.
Coachman. Oh.
Jerry Lynn was sat. And then Tony.
That's
where Tony can't sit.
He's just one of the guys. He's just a lovable boss. You know that if you get on the wrong side of TK, he's probably quite heartless.
I reckon it's like...
Do you see his drip?
His drip?
Yeah,
What's wrong with
Tony Drip. No. like Johnny Drip. He had a little bit of a jazzy shirt on. Yeah, it wasn't quite the level of Johnny or Seth, but it was up there. Where are we up to now? Christian and Jurassic Express team up to beat the HFO, the Hardy Family Office. Afterwards, the Blade sneaks in to hit Christian with those brass knuckles, which have become like his signature weapon, his thing for now. It's like a little thing.
It's weird for a butcher.
Yes, it is.
Think of a knife or something. Or a
I don't know if you can get away with it.
I don't know. Like,
he jumps in and just...
The past 2 weeks on AEW, we've seen multiple stabbings to a forehead with a fork.
Forks, yeah.
And we've seen multiple stabbings to a forehead and a back with light tubes.
Pizza cutter.
Yeah,
Is it not like a piece of butcher paraphernalia that doesn't have an edge, that you could use? Like
Just a big slab of meat. Big bit of meat.
Just a big
slab of meat.
Bang!
Whoa.
Yes, he should.
An entire cow carcass.
Yeah.
Just throw it.
This is turning into like...
a scene from the Holy Grail.
I was going to say, it's turned into like Roadrunner or something. like an Acme Productions. This was just a bit of a filler match, really, just to progress the feud along, I think, a little bit. And as was the next one. Well, no, it was quite significant because it was Thunder Rosa, apologies, Tom. It was her first match as a full-time member of the AEW roster.
What a pop she got.
Yes. And she beat Julia Hart, no relation to Celebrate as well.
Who must have either pissed herself or pooed herself. Because that kick from Thunder Rosa to the gut,
right,
that would have just induced everything to fall out your back end there. So hopefully she didn't. I don't think she did, but it's a surprise if she didn't.
I eagerly listened to Tom's Desert Island Graphs with Thunder Rosa, thinking that she'd be a terrifying woman, and she was so lovely.
I emailed her not too long after you did that, and I didn't get a response.
She seemed very busy. It seemed like you'd caught her at the right time. There was dogs barking in the background and stuff.
Well, we're following each other now on the Twitters. Did I drop her a DM for you?
Now that she's a fully fledged member of the roster, it
might be all right.
Might be all right. So you got to sneak in the back door these days, Tom. Just go direct to the source.
She's a little behind this. Straight to the... Are we on that again, are we?
Missionary position.
Avacol.
When I did that Thunder Rosa deadline grabs, it was at home before the world shut down, and it just happened to be it was after hours. I thought I'll do it at home.
Yeah.
And the good lady came home mid-interview, so she was sort of sat in the living room while it was going on. Then afterwards, and at one point she's chatting.
Nice one, she. No,
but she was chatting about makeup skincare, and there's a lovely moment where like Alex comes out. I said, "Oh, my partner walked in." He said, "Oh, hello," and Alex and Thunder also talking about skincare routines.
Oh, that's
a
lovely.
really lovely, wholesome moment that didn't make the cut.
Let's go through it then. What is the skincare routine?
What's
I think
the
they
name?
use Elemis.
Oh, it's half
They
11.
use Elemis. They put something on an evening, and Alex does the same thing. I think she did the same thing anyway. It's like Elemis on an evening, and then it's something else under the eyes every other day.
This is your fault. You have derailed my podcast. My podcast. buddy.
My podcast.
I just want some skincare tips.
Wow.
All I've got's a bar of Body Shop's face scrub.
Oh, that'll dry your skin right out.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I think my
you want to
skin's-
get some night cream and some day cream. So some night cream that you put on. I'll find what Alex gave me. Like some stuff
Surely
you
it
put
all
on an
depends
evening.
whether your skin's oily or dry naturally as well.
Yeah, I mean, do you know whether you've got oily skin?
I mean, I've cook some bacon. And that.
I'll get Alex to
some
do an
bacon on my forehead.
appraisal of your skin and offer you a routine that can benefit you.
Also in the
Sorry, we derailed
my
Jack's
podcast. Yeah,
Apologies,
I meant
Jack.
my turn as the host of the pod. Thunder Rosa also in this interview with Tom tells of her ambition to be a MILF.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Wow.
One of the things she always wanted to be was be a MILF.
Be a
And,
MILF.
you know,
It's like a long-term ambition of hers.
Is
to be a
she
MILF.
with child currently?
No, I think it's just.
it's just
It tells
she
you two
does.
things.
She is a mum.
It tells you. Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Well, she already is
Well,
then.
then she. Yeah. Oh, bloody Nora. Oh,
Hey, up there.
Crikey.
Mission accomplished.
Deary me. Chris Jericho in the main event, of course, in the Labors of Jericho, the second Labor of Jericho, beats Nick Gage, MDK all effing day, in a deathmatch main event. And I was totally this didn't go the way I thought. I thought then MJF would get in the ring to gloat, and then to send the crowd home happy, Nick Gage would like batter him. But instead, Nick Gage just lost.
Yeah.
You would have been fatigued after GCW at the weekend. of
Against
course.
Matt Cardona.
Against Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play to I assume he's done a far more stringent, a far more testing schedule, than doing that at the weekend and that on Wednesday. But fair play for going through that twice in a matter
Yeah.
of days.
Yeah.
And fair play to Jericho as well, because I fully expected sort of like light tubes and glass maybe to be there, but just like brought out from under the ring, big pop, put down, not actually used. But he went through everything, and it was fantastic.
A few sources have said that they won't be doing anything like this again.
I'm shocked it's on TV.
They cleared it with TNT. Apparently, they said we're going to do this
just
wild
the
thing with
action.
light tubes and stuff, and they went, "Yeah, okay, cool."
The action of the stabbing of the fork last week, and
Yeah,
then this
that
week
was
you got the
brutal.
action of the stabbing of the glass
And the
It's,
pizza cutter.
and the pizza cutter. Yeah, but I saw a thing on Reddit which was quite interesting. It feels like the Labors of Jericho is like a retirement tour, harking back to certain points in his career.
Yeah.
Like last week, who was his match against last week? Well, he's
Sean Spears.
He's from Canada, and Sean Spears is from
Yeah,
Canada.
that's
He's
birth.
got a tattoo of Canada there. That's the Canada bit. This week was like ECW, his stint there because of death matches and whatnot and
Or the
hardcore stuff.
Painmaker, the more. It doesn't need to be in chronological. That's
Or the
fine.
I guess the Painmaker. No one cares about the Painmaker.
No,
does it?
okay, the
You've
ECW.
put a hat on, Chris, haven't you? You've put a hat on. Next week against the Juice is
Yes.
like the WCW bit. The week after, he could maybe, I'm going to ball tickle you here, he could maybe face Paul White to hark back to Jericho and his WWE run. Or maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin to hark back to 2002.
How about a technical wrestling match against Lance Storm?
Yes, I would
Yes.
love that.
That'd be fun,
Jerry
wouldn't
Lynn's
it?
there, knocking about.
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn.
And then
I don't know if
maybe
he ever really wrestled
Kevin
much,
Owens can break down the real Forbidden Door and appear.
Oh,
Could you imagine if the wrestling world was that harmonious and we could have like a big Kevin Owens
I know.
appearance on AEW? How cool would that be, guys?
though. Really cool. Yes, MJF, as Ross mentioned, MJF tells him after the match, Jericho this is, that the next Labor will be against a man that he once told him to Google. And then MJF got a genuine laugh from the crowd because he said, he was normally so quick to boo him, but you can tell he's done well if he's got a laugh. He went, well, unluckily for you, Chris, I did Google him. And it's, Hoovy is coming to AEW, Juventud Guerrera, and Jericho as well has to hit a move off the top rope to win. I assume that means hit a move
Hurricane
and then,
Rana.
well, yeah. But also I'm assuming, unless he can do a moonsault,
Of course he can. He can do anything.
well, yeah, he's Chris Jericho.
But he's been building that thing up, but the nine punches and the
True.
The Frankensteiner.
But I think, does this mean that once he's hit the move, the bell rings, or has he got to hit the move, then pin him? I feel like he's got to pin him after
He's
that.
got to win with a move off the top rope.
Okay.
So it's basically
it's
he's
like
just got
universe mode.
He's just got to spam the turnbuckle run.
Sorry, not universe mode. Career mode. My career mode.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Where it's like, get them to yellow damage on their leggies. And then,
on their leggies.
Yeah.
It was also in that last bit where we, just in case you'd forgotten about CM Punk, MJF drops a little line in there, doesn't he, Ross?
You can see it's going to be in the promo package, the pre-match package when CM Punk and MJF eventually have their big match where CM Punk will be like, well, you just wish you were me. And it'll cut to MJF saying, Chris, as you sit there in more pain than you've ever been in your entire life, he'll say it a bit better than I did there, but I've had a can of Monster.
And that was a line from the pipe bomb, wasn't it?
A line from the pipe bomb.
It was a stolen line from
you
the pipe
replaced the
bomb.
word Chris with John.
John?
thank you guys. Cheers. That was a lovely way to end this week in wrestling. Any other things from the world of wrestling you want to mention just before we move to the next?
GCW was good, wasn't it? A couple of
Matt
death matches.
Cardona.
Drew Parker. Was it Drew Parker? I always forget his name, yeah.
Drew Parker.
Drew Parker was there.
He,
What a life
honestly,
he's got.
he went from being like the prettiest little indie boy in the UK to like a genuine deathmatch specialist in Japan. I mean, yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah.
He just made a name for
I
himself.
wouldn't risk my face if I looked like him.
That was the first time I saw Effie doing his entrance, and I didn't realise he came out to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by
Oh.
Good, isn't it?
when Elton could still sing.
Back when he had his voice
Do you want to
still.
share this story about your mum and Elton John? before we
So
finish?
a few years ago, my mum said when Elton John was starting the farewell Yellow Brick Road.
You said she
my-
was a big Elton fan.
Oh, I was raised on Elton John essentially. So like I've got like a back catalogue of Elton in my brain, and Mum's been to see him a few times. We've been to see it together a few times as well. But she said, whatever you do, lads, for Christmas, please, please, please don't buy me any tickets to Farewell Yellow Brick Road. I don't want to see him again because I hate how he sounds now. And this is an Elton fan of her entire life. She's been an Elton John fan, and she's like, I can't handle it because he's
still down.
I'm still tanning.
he used to have range.
That's why I wanted to go.
He's basically now just the club singer from Shooting Stars.
I couldn't convince my good lady to go because she's with your mum.
She doesn't
She
like
thinks
him
Elton
anymore.
sounds
Oh, did you?
terrible.
You wanted to go?
Steady my light. I wanted to go and laugh.
the comedy
Have a bit comedy value for Elton.
My mum's such a big fan for her birthday. I won't say which number because it'll make her cross if I talk about her age. But we had a surprise party for her. We had a surprise party for her, and we hired.
60th.
How dare you? We hired an Elton tribute act, and it's a guy. I think his name was Paul Bacon. I think his name is.
His real name?
He was a phenomenal Elton tribute act. He was so good. The next gig he did after my mum's birthday was the birthday of Elton John's mum.
Oh,
Like, she hired him because her and Elton were estranged for so many years. She hired an Elton John tribute act for her own birthday.
Oh, that's a bit
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, is that true? That's a crazy story.
It's a true story.
Wow.
Story. Yeah, it was in the National Enquirer.
Oh my word. We had
The National
National Enquirer.
at the end of every year at our college at uni, we do we book a tribute
Elton
act.
medley.
It wasn't we book a tribute act, and they varied in terms of how good they were. Oasis were the best, even though one of them was wearing chinos, which Oasis wouldn't wear. So everyone was going, chino between songs. He loved it. It was just bants. But the worst one was Robbie Williams, who we got in. And I mean, Robbie Williams is a bit of a pub singer anyway, isn't he? It's more the Swing album's fun. No, the Swing album's fantastic. No, the Swing album's fantastic. No. The Swing album's fantastic. But Robbie's more about the strength of his tunes rather than the strength of his voice, surely. He's got some big songs. So this guy also wasn't like, unbelievable or anything. But at one point, he was probably like in his 40s or 50s and 40s. But he stripped down to the vest like Robbie does and everything. And then there was a lass called Maxine in our year at uni who was, she was a fun lady. She lived life to the full. And he brought her on, she was all blonde and pretty and that. And he brought her on stage and was like flirting with her and dancing with her and that. She was off her face, so she thought it was hilarious. But we were like, he's going to try and get with Maxine after this. I don't know if he did. He didn't get with her. I don't know if he tried though.
He might have gone over after. Remember that thing? You should have hired my mate Tony. My mate Tony James, who
Is he Robbie Williams?
He's a Robbie Williams, but he's a bigger lad, so he's Blobby Williams.
I've heard of Blobby Williams. Has he gone viral and stuff
Yeah,
before?
quite a
I've
few
heard.
times
You know
he's gone-
Blobby Williams.
He's one of my best mates.
Wow.
It's Blobby Williams.
Oh, my
We always
word.
go for drinks and stuff when I'm back in Worcester. He's brilliant.
Oh,
He does a podcast now called Jumbo. I'll give it a plug. There you go, Tone. You're welcome.
nice.
Blobby Williams on Twitter. He's a lovely lad. That's the best. And a brilliant Robbie tribute. He does the fake.
He'd have been better than the one where you got,
Yeah, he's very, very, very good.
Yeah. No offense to that.
And that was the wrestling news.
That was the wrestling bit, yeah.
It was this week in wrestling, in fact. The last thing just to say is that our Oasis tribute act were called Oasis because they were from up here.
Oasis. Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's good, that.
This week in the wrestling, that was.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
It is indeed time to have a rummage in our mailbag. The first one is thus. I don't know how Matthew starts reading a mail.
He goes, time for the mail.
Let's have a rummage in our mailbags.
Get well soon, sorry. TopeCon, Ohio. Heyo, lads.
Ohio!
That's about 3 in-jokes strung together.
Round on the end and high in the middle.
Hope you and yours are all doing well. Recently, my dad was watching TV on a Bosnian channel we have and called me over to see this old British show he was watching. I told him I've probably heard of it since you guys often reference old shows on the podcast.
No, we don't.
And I ended up being right because it turns out he was watching Only Foes and OCs. In that moment, I realised how weird everything was, as my dad was watching an old British show on a Bosnian channel while living in America, and that I knew about the show because of a wrestling podcast, trying to turn the story into a question. He's being honest. Trying to turn the story into a question. What's your favourite ever wrestling collaboration with another media or sport? Thank you, Adnan Basic from Chicago, Illinois. Hopefully I've done your name justice there. I think that might be a Bosnian surname, in fact.
So
favourite, by the way, it's not my fault because I've never really watched Only Fools. I know it's sacrilege and stuff, and I've never really watched Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, okay. You missed out on a national institution there.
Yeah. Trigger falls through the bar or whatever. Not Trigger. Delboy.
Delboy falls
And then
through
Trigger made a face.
All right, Dave, etc.
So favorite ever wrestling collaboration with another form of media or sport.
I quite like. I mean, there's King Kong Bundy and Married with Children. That's great.
Okay.
King Kong
Oh,
Bundy.
you're going
rocking.
that way with it. I was thinking like Vinnie Jones at the wrestling.
Oh, are we doing it the other way?
I don't know. I guess it can be either.
Yeah. All the above.
I like Bad Bunny at WrestleMania.
He was fantastic.
He was very, very good, actually. It was very good. I mean, I can only think of, like, off the top of my head, like, times when wrestlers have turned up on telly.
Yeah.
And that's a sort of like
Who
a
was in
crossover.
Coronation Street in the mid-noughties?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Was there a wrestler?
Get me a beer!
Was there a wrestler who appeared in
Give me a hot
Coronation
pot.
Street in the mid-noughties? Or am I thinking of Status Quo? Very different
Did
things,
a
I
wrestler
know.
appear in Status Quo?
I'm just trying to think of... I'm just talking nonsense.
Batista turned up in
Bloody hell, Tom!
Sorry, everybody. I'm very twitchy.
Batista turned up in either Home and Away or Neighbours.
Home and Away it was.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
Or was
it.
it Neighbours? It was one of those two.
Yes.
A recent one, I don't know whether you've seen it. Disney have put out an advert for Disney Plus, which features Dave Bautista as the streamer, where he's just like this old boy who lives in the woods and just likes to watch stuff on his iPad.
Wow.
He's very good at it.
Was that your favourite ever wrestling and media?
Hands
collaboration?
down, my favorite.
Yes.
No, I think I'm going to go with because it crosses because we haven't talked enough about video games in this because Maff's not here. And if you listen to the classic SmackDown review, you know Maff and I love a bit of a banter
We've talked enough
wrestling.
about them.
Oh, no, we've talked about them today.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna-
Perfect amount, in my opinion.
Well, I'm going to say the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay.
Which was the cartoon and the live action bits. And Mario was played by Captain Lou Albano. And but because there was that strong connection with the wrestling, you'd have wrestlers turning up in the live action bits. You'd have like Sergeant Slaughter turn up. You'd have who else rocked up in there? Rowdy Roddy Piper turned up to get his bagpipes fixed. And I liked that because as a wrestling fan and a video game fan, I got a little buzz of excitement in my tiny little young Tom Tumble when I'd see like Sergeant Slaughter and Mario chatting. Oh, Sergeant Slaughter, what are you doing here?
Like your two things. You're like, my two things.
My two things crossing over.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
That's very good.
It's a Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Ross, have you got one?
I'm going back to the
Oh,
mid-noughties.
that's giving me... Oh, didn't like that for some reason. No, man! My nipples have gone hard now. Why have you done... Not in that way. Just... I've gone on...
It's brushed aluminum.
Please, I've really can't... Man, why are you doing this?
Give that to Betty immediately.
No, not in a good way.
What a good Friday night you two are going to have.
No, not in a good way, in a bad way.
It's a bad touch.
Her name's Bethany.
How
I've
do you
never
know-
called her
hang
that.
That's interesting, that, because when I hear it's velvet.
I'm fine
makes,
with that.
Velvet makes my teeth go funny and
I'm
my
fine with
mouth go
that.
like...
In the same way like people chewing tinfoil.
Yeah. But his nipples have gone hard.
I'm fine.
Prove it.
No, but it's just a general reaction. I've gone all goosebumpy as well.
What bodily reaction do you have when you have a material-related
Well, do you know what I can't stand?
phobia?
Let us know in the comments.
Do you know what I can't stand? If like someone's doing a bit of sanding.
I do like a bit of sanding.
I hate that noise. That reminded me of sanding, so I couldn't handle that at all.
Okay.
I should never have revealed that weakness there.
Punishment idea. Jack goes to a woodworking thing.
Jack goes to a wood.
Yeah, we've done that twice for Sam. It's already been done.
I'm going back to the mid-noughties for mine. And
Oh, sorry, yes.
back when Soccer AM was absolutely fantastic and must-see television before it fell off the face of a cliff. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, not NXT's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the actual Tooth Fairy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes.
He appeared on Soccer AM and was the subject of a Tubes rap.
The question is so good as well.
I'll let you do it since you.
I don't know the rap.
You are the rapper. I can't
What was the
remember
rap?
it.
Oh, man.
He does that noise with his cheek, doesn't he?
can't do it.
are the Rock. I can't do it. But it's just Dwayne being submitted to a very awkward rap from a guy who's not a rapper.
He says,
The
I'm
question-
so hot. It's like I'm cooking. Or some no. It's he says something, I'm so hot, you're looking. It doesn't matter what the Tubes is cooking or something like that. He just walks
Something
off.
like that.
And everyone goes, oh, and the Rock's like,
It lets him down a bit with a question. 'Cause it's like, what's better, the
it's
adulation
really-
of a crowd, or
I love this part because Tubes goes, what do you prefer? And he says like, what do you prefer, wrestling or being a film actor? And the Rock gives a really political answer. He's like, Hollywood's fantastic. It's the most amazing thing, but also nothing compares to a live crowd. And Tubes goes, so wrestling then.
Well, we know where that went. We know what his real answer was,
Yeah,
judging by
true.
what he's doing now. Jungle Cruise out this week.
Mine would be, it's difficult. It is difficult. Any other form of media or sport as well, wasn't it? Even though it's not a very good film, I did like The Longest Yard with all the wrestlers in it, with Kevin Nash and Austin and Goldberg.
yeah.
There were quite a few big
Yeah,
names.
there's a lot of the
Ray
wrestlers
Carly.
in
Ray Carly was in
He
there.
lifted
yeah.
up the whole stand. Oh, I'll go for that.
That's a good shout.
Can't think
That's
of
a good
another
shout.
answer.
Longest Yard.
What's pumping, Big Papas? Hopefully this week you're all back together in person and are celebrating the occasion with an extra long episode of the podcast. Oh, this might be it might have been sent in a little while ago because we are back. We've been back for a week. I've been delivering pizzas through the entirety of the pandemic as I finished my last few classes in my degree in video game design. The podcasts have made my Fridays feel like the shortest day of the week, especially the longer episodes. I live in the Dallas, Texas area, so this past week was quite eventful wrestling-wise. Unfortunately, on Saturday, before Money in the Bank, my car broke down, so I was left without transportation and money after repairs to go to Money in the Bank, Raw, and Dynamite. That's very unfortunate. Fortunately, I did not purchase my tickets beforehand and only missed out on John Cena and Keith Lee and Akashian and Nick Gage. Sigh. My question.
How long is this question?
No, it's good.
My question is, do you like dogs?
No, don't worry. My question is, has there ever been a wrestling show or live event in general that you missed out on and regretted it? What were they? Why did you miss them? Thanks for the chuckles. Jack from the Cultaholic Wrestling Weekly Podcast.
His name was Jack, so he's presenting to be you because he's got the same name.
Oh. I thought it was
Should have copied and pasted his real name.
I thought it was a comment on my often rambling stories.
It could be, but his shoot name is also Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you,
and
Jack.
I'm sorry that you missed the show, but it's a good job you didn't buy the ticket beforehand. So, is there ever a wrestling show that you missed and you're gutted and maybe there's some circumstances?
Mine's got no circumstances.
Okay.
But it's back at the old place.
Yes.
The old place of work. Not place of worship, the old place of work. 5-star wrestling.
Oh, you missed that.
I didn't miss it, Tom. I just didn't want to go. And Richard, roll the VT.
So, Ross, I thought the reason you weren't here was because you weren't well, but actually it turns out you're fit as a fiddle and you didn't come and see fucking me in this big arena against Khalil. You!
So as you've just seen or heard there, dear viewer, Grado sent me a lovely message because someone who went told them that I was a massive fan of Grado, but just didn't want to go to 5-star wrestling. I presume my mum was making something nice for tea that night, so I didn't want to go to the wrestling. But yeah, now that my fandom, it honestly came around when 5-star wrestling was on Free Sport and all that run. I could have been there for when AJ Styles and Jomo had a match to set up a contract signing.
No, there was a contract signing at the
Was a contract signing.
It was a contract signing for AJ versus Rey Mysterio. And the match was happening in Sheffield 2 nights later. So, of course, Newcastle booed. They weren't getting
We're not
AJ and
getting AJ
Mysterio.
yeah.
Like, I think AJ and Jomo was the main event. So it was fine. But it was like...
Was it fine?
Well, it was all right as a match. But it was obviously like they were making episodic television using live events.
Yeah.
There is stories to be told on 5-Star Wrestling.
I'm so excited for it all to come out one day. I mean... Matthew's apparently making something about it. So, also, the noise that the ring made when Morrison hit Starship Pain at the end, he did the split-legged thing, and it went like thunk, and we all went, oh. But it was the last spot of the night, so we never knew if anything went wrong. Yeah, it was really scary.
The ring might have knackered at that point.
I'm glad no one else had any other like springboard moves to do or anything. Yeah, it was really scary.
My main regret about that is not being there for the AJ Styles interview where little things became a thing on the YouTube.
Yeah, what's the secret to being a good wrestler? Moves are easy.
Moves are easy.
It's the little things.
It's the little thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, he's not wrong.
AJ was a pro that night. We were interviewing him. We'd all set up cameras and lights and everything. And middle of the interview, the promoter comes in. We had to cut it out. He's there in the shot, bursts in. The door opens. You see him, and he goes, "We need AJ to do a run-in." We're like, "What interview? You told us to." And AJ didn't know this. It was like a last-minute thing they'd thrown on the show. AJ was like, "Okay, I guess I'll have to do this run-in then." He runs off, does his run-in and stuff, has his match. After his match, comes back in his gear, and we just go, "Sorry, we had to," and he just does the rest of the interview. And it was a better interview because he was all adrenalined up after the match as well.
So those are the little things.
Fair play to AJ Styles after that. That's a really good answer. That's a really good one.
Wish I went. But had I known that the free sport run was going to be a thing, I would have been in there like swimwear.
Mine would be... It's not a show that I had the opportunity to go to anyway because we were working it, and it wouldn't have made sense to go because we'd have lost money over WrestleMania rather than making it with our coverage here. But it was the first WrestleMania since we started our own thing. I think it was 34 in New Orleans. Not because I really like the show itself or anything, but because I've been fortunate enough to go to 2 WrestleManias, right? And both times, the only thing that's let me down a little bit has been if you got after Raw the next Monday, it's a bit of a party atmosphere. It's a lovely night. But on Sunday in America, everything obviously just closes early, as it would here, but like way early. So after Dallas, we're all like, "Oh, WrestleMania, we've just been to WrestleMania. Nowhere to go for a drink." We went to a corner shop at 7-Eleven to try and buy some drink. All locked the fridge and like you couldn't even. So then next year in Orlando, I thought Orlando, tourist town, sort of similar situation. Not really a lot to do after the show. New Orleans has got that street, hasn't it? Bourbon Street. And I think that would be lovely for a post-WrestleMania shindig. That's the weirdest way I've ever seen. So I'd go for WrestleMania 30, more for the 34. Sorry, more for the atmos than for the
actual wrestling
itself.
show.
Yeah.
Okay. I think mine would probably be. I think it was the first WCPW show.
No,
because I had designs on coming along because I was a fan of you guys. Long before.
I wasn't even there, Tom. I was doing better things in France.
Well,
the Euros.
You weren't there, so I wasn't bothered. But I was so drawn into the story of you guys building a wrestling company. I was like, I really want to come along to that.
Wasn't us, man, Tom. You've fed into the narrative there.
And I know it's the narrative.
We were
I was
the faces put out there in front of the camera.
I hated when these cool wrestling accounts, these cool lads from places like the Midlands and Wales, and would all say things like, "Oh, they're setting up a wrestling promotion. The fools, the damn fools." And we were really like, no, like wasn't
if it was up to us, to a man,
idea,
we were against it. To a man, we were against it.
All I saw was you guys on videos talking about how excited you were to be setting up a wrestling
team of one man. Nameless and faceless.
One man's genius.
Now, to be fair, I mean, there was some bad days doing it and some good days, but had a great time generally.
Yeah.
So I don't regret it, but why would you have wanted to go to the...
I wanted to go because I followed what you guys did, and I was like, this looks really cool. I want to be a part of that. And then, it was my mate's birthday party in Worcester at the same time, and And I'd let him down on a couple of occasions before, like not going to stuff. I'm a bit of a fair-weathered friend sometimes, and this is a.
Well, you're a very busy man.
That's a good excuse, isn't it?
No, I doubt there's. I really doubt there's any
convenient excuse.
with you. I really doubt there's any like ignorance or malice.
There's
to
no
it.
malice, but there are some times when I've arranged to go out and I just go, do you know what? I'm really want to just stay in my pajamas.
Everyone has
tonight.
those
It's
moments.
fine.
Though. Yeah, don't worry about
But
that.
my mate, and bless him, it's the same mate who made me the best man for his wedding in 2018 because basically that meant I had to go.
You would go, yeah. you
Like
tell
I
me
said, and I even said to him, "Did you make me best man to make sure I was going to be there?" And he went, "Yeah, I did." I was like, you got me by a loophole. Now I've got to go, and it was in Southampton. I was like, it's so far away. I went, and I love the bones off my mate's hand.
Bet you did a good speech.
I'm
sure you did a good speech.
Like all the people I went to school with were sat on one table, and Alex was sat with them. So I was sat with the family, and I know his brother quite well. He's quite a shy and reserved character. I know his mum and his dad, and Sam was at the other end of the table with his partner, and I'd written the bare bones of a speech, and I thought it's nearly time to come. And his brother wasn't drinking, so he had a bottle of wine, and I had a bottle of wine. So I said, shall I take that for you? So I think I drank 2 bottles of wine. Oh. And then my school friend from the other table came over and said, brilliant. So I had some dinner and 3 bottles of wine.
Oh my word, this is pre-speech.
And I won't give you the full speech, but it started off with, I'd like to begin with a quote from the movie Ghostbusters. Oh, there are so many ghosts here. I met Sam in 19.
That was a good.
I thought if I can't convince him, I'll confuse him.
That was silly. That I like that.
And then
what are you like?
I know, I'm just mental. And so it was Sam's birthday, and I thought I'd love to go. It's a long way back to Worcester for the. Oh no, was I? Yeah, I was up here for this, wasn't I? I was like, it's a long way to go. I'm sure I'll catch you guys another time, and I did. And I came to a couple of them.
Lovely stuff. Right, I think we've answered the question. We've answered the question very fully there.
With aplomb.
With aplomb.
Thank you, Jack.
And the final one, I think, until Reese's Pieces. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. After she won the Raw Women's Championship by cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase, I had someone online refer to Nikki ASH and that title victory as a spiritual successor to Mick Foley and his first title victory over The Rock. I think that comparison is a bit of a stretch personally, but to each their own opinion. It got me thinking though, who are the modern day spiritual successors of some of our most beloved wrestlers? Or, to translate more succinctly, which modern day wrestler... Or to translate more succinctly, remember that. Which modern day wrestlers embody the traits or attitude or persona of wrestlers gone by? Wonderful writing, though. You're a very good writer, though. Don't worry. As an example, when I look at Brock Lesnar, he seems like the spiritual successor to Vader. Freakish athleticism from someone too large to be that athletic. Monstrous presence. Someone who looks like a legitimate threat at all times and who didn't need a great promo to be a badass. So, fastest thought first. Oh, this is a bit of a Reese's Pieces.
A bit of a Reese's Pieces, but I thought it was less of a Reese's Pieces because more times Reese's Pieces is one or t'other, isn't it? One or t'other.
Fair enough. So, fastest thought first. I'll name a wrestler from a previous era, and you tell me which modern day wrestler is their spiritual successor. Thanks for all the content and smiles. You're all top shelf, and I support you to the moon and back. Oh, David.
We're all porn. We're all porn.
That is David from Barbados. Thank you very much, David. Cheers.
David lives in Barbados.
Apparently so.
We're global.
Oh, wow. Barbados is like that sort of stereotypical holiday location. And David lives there. So, Dave, when you think of like stereotypical holiday locations, do you think like Milton Keynes? Just a thought, David.
Thank you very much, David. I will read his 10, and I think we'll go
one by one.
Yeah.
Give us a chance.
No, we'll go Tom, Ross, me, so that we don't get confused with the order. So here we go. Who is the modern day spiritual successor of The Rock?
Should we say the same? I think we should say the same one after 3. All of us. 1, 2, 3.
LA Drake. Oh, LA Knight.
I said Eli Drake, same thing.
Yes, LA, it is LA Knight.
So captivating.
Yes. Number 2, Mick Foley.
Spiritual successor Mick Foley would probably be... Oh, somebody just rugged and aggressive and...
Yes, Queen.
Nick Gage.
Oh.
Kevin Owens for me, Jeff.
Oh. I was going to say Kevin Owens. Instead, I'll change it to Darby Allin, in a way. Not physically, but, you know, what he does. Jeff Jarrett.
The Miz.
Cody.
I'll go for a different period of his career, so I'll say Elias.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guitars.
Yeah, basically. Raven.
Sort of like spooky character. Should I think of a spooky character from
G Adams.
She's spooky, but not that kind of spooky. Oh God, good speaker. I don't like you coming to me first. I don't like.
Okay, Ross.
Current day Baron Corbin.
Because he's really emo.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, I'm raving. Oh,
now I want to. I'll say Darby Allin for him as well. What have you got? One?
Okay. I'll copy you.
Darby Allin. Yeah. Number 5, Kevin Nash, stroke Diesel.
Big Daddy Cool Omos.
Yeah.
Damien Priest.
Nice. I'm going for Doc Gallows.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's nice. That's nice.
Number 6, Stang.
Is it too cliche to say Darby Allin?
No.
Darby Allin.
Cody thinks it's him. I'll go for. Oh, you got Definitely Darby for Crow Sting. Surfer Sting. Who's your Surfer Sting, Tom?
Cody Rhodes.
Surfer Sting. Oh gosh, so somebody like cool and trendy.
Somebody cool and
Darby Allin in a Hawaiian shirt.
Orange Cassidy. I don't know.
Someone cool, like just has everything. Who has everything and a little bit more?
All. Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn is
Billy
the
Gunn's
one.
the modern
all.
day. The modern day spiritual successor to Sting is Billy Gunn. Number 7, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Johnny Gargano, wrestler.
Matthew would
Matthew
absolutely hate
was
you.
here.
Liquid wrestling.
Who's just the best? God, who is the best wrestler in the world today?
Shane McMahon.
I'll go for not in terms of style, but in terms of the way their matches feel. I think sometimes Kenny Omega's singles matches, feel really real. Like he struggles in the middle of moves and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a good shout, actually.
They wrestle very different styles, obviously. And you could argue that Bret is more convincing and more real. But Kenny, I think, does all the little things. Like AJ Styles would say, like he struggles in the middle of moves. He sells things in a unique way and stuff. So I'll go for Omega in a...
Dax Harwood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There
that's
he
a
is,
good shout,
the
actually.
modern day Bret Hart.
Number 8, Sabu.
Oh, Sabu.
If you're doing that, Ricochet.
Yeah.
Does it at the start his entrance to me?
Wait, that wasn't his theme tune. Whose is that?
That's American Alpha, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Apollo? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Paula Cruz. I beg my
American
pardon.
Alpha's had a similar one.
The modern day Sabu is.
I think I was doing primetime players there.
I think we should go through tables and what.
So, like somebody that throws himself around through tables, it could be Darby Allin again.
Could be Darby Allin. It could well be
All
Darby
the
Allin.
answers are
Let's
Darby
ban
Allin.
Darby Allin from any future answer. I'll go for Nick Gage.
I'll
something
go
like
for
that.
Drew Parker. We just mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's a good shout.
Yeah. Although presumably tighter in the ring.
A little bit
Maybe
tighter.
tighter.
A little bit tighter.
Number 9, Magnum TA.
If we're going for appearances, Megabyte Ronnie.
Megabyte
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Megabyte Ronnie.
Is that the sausage man?
Yes, the sausage band that we showed you this week. The hot dog eating champion / wrestler.
I mean, I think
Megabyte Ronnie. He's got very
like,
Magnum TA
I feel like
vibes.
he's put it in here because there's someone in particular that I think is Magnum TA of the modern age.
Is it Hangman?
It's Hangman Page. Yeah.
Hangman Page is the modern Magnum TA.
Throwback, handsome.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, just
Next
missing the stash, isn't he?
Next week, a brutal cage match with Tully Blanchard.
Oh, yes, please.
Number 10, Rikishi. That's the Blue Meanie. What am I doing?
Well, Bianca Belair's always pointing at her bottom.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yeah,
reflection. In terms of, potentially sort of like bad man Rikishi.
Oh,
Sort
yes.
of like aggressive Samoan wrestler, Jacob Fatu.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I think Jacob Fatu is more well-rounded than Rikishi was. I think he surpasses Rikishi.
Ooh.
I think he does. I very much
Big
like
NLW fan. Over
Yeah,
here.
I like Jacob Fatu.
Fair enough.
Good shout. Good lad.
Struggling for an answer. Yeah, I'll go for Otis.
Yes, that's a great shout.
That's a better
I
shout.
can't think of a better one
Shades
than
of
that.
Otis.
Definitely for Rikishi's early
Trajectory.
2000s. Yes, I'll go for Otis as well. I can't think of a better one than that. Thank you very much for the question, Dave from Barbados.
Dave from Barbados.
And that was,
That's
I believe, the mailbag.
If you want a mailbag, your mailbag.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, I've noticed Matthew does this twice, doesn't he? So he does it once at the end of... All right, okay. If you want to email in, then please send all emails to mailbag@cultaholic.com. Thanks, guys. Yes, it's time for Reese's Pieces. Dave's question in the mailbag was a little bit Reese-PC, but this is also a bit Reese-PC. I've been notified there's some answers that I shouldn't be looking at.
No, you can look at them because you're the quiz master.
Oh, I'm the quiz master.
You're the quizman.
Well, we'll put that down.
Sorry,
There's no answers on that one.
Are you sure?
Just check.
Are you sure?
The bloody well is, Tom.
Oh,
There's not.
You were looking at the Reese's Pieces page.
Yeah,
It's
but
on the top-
look, where does it say the answers?
Have you-
I did two
Oh,
versions.
yeah, you-
I did two versions.
I'm sorry for
That's all right.
questioning your professionalism.
I did two versions. One with the
sorry.
answers.
You
One
definitely
without.
read them when he deleted them, though. We'll see.
Of course I did.
Yeah. Hello, Diddlers. Brilliant. Recently, I was listening to all of John Cena's album, You Can't See Me.
And we're the diddlers.
Some lyrics, we don't linger on the Diddlers part anymore. We try
Do we
and
not?
skim.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
I feel like
we
a man.
tried to kill it on the podcast, but Matthew just kept saying it.
insists on bringing it up. He can't help himself. It's like a tick. He's like, Diddlerinos, we. Get well soon, mate. I feel so.
You sound less sincere each and every time.
I know I've said it so many times.
It's going to end the podcast will end with Jack Good. I hope you die, Matthew.
No, it's just that basically the Zoom interactions with Matthew, I found him a lot meaner to me than in real life. So last week was a lovely
No,
breath
that's
of fresh
because
air.
he likes you more than he likes me.
He
He's more
likes
comfortable
you
around
more,
you, so
yeah.
he feels like he can play
Yeah.
with you a bit more.
It's true.
No, it's true.
Bloody Nora.
Oh, not physically, unless you do that in your spare
Well, now you're
time.
back together. I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
true. Some lyrics. Oh, sorry. I was listening to all of John Cena's album, You Can't See Me. Some lyrics popped out to me as either strange or just funny. For this Reese's Pieces, I have made up some lyrics as well as added lyrics from the actual album. You will have to figure out if the lyric I say is real or false. I wish you all the best, and I'd thank you for everything you do, but you get that daily, so instead, to keep you humble, I'll tell you that I hate you. Cheers. The answers will be below my name, and then you've cut off the name.
Oh, I have, haven't I?
Or is Tom copying and pasting them off
I might have cut off the name. Hang
Get
on.
on our group on Slackalicious.
We want to make sure that we credit the correct person.
Credit the artist.
While this happens, I don't know what to talk about, to be honest. Favorite song from that album? Is that what Bad Man's from? Bad Man's a great
legitimately
song.
a good song.
Don't mess with John Cena. He's a bad man. The video's A-Team theme.
Yeah.
The diddler in question. Sorry, I should stop saying that word. Antonio from Manchester.
Thank you, Tony from Manchester.
Thank you, Antonio from Manchester. Now known as just Cesaro.
Honestly, these lyrics, man. Oh no, some of these have not aged that well, or just very cringy. Lyric the first, I'll accept. It won't go back and forth. I'll accept. You can both say it's real, or you can both say it's false, but I'll. Number one, she loved white chocolate. Well, I got something sweet.
A big old white dick. I reckon that's true.
Tom,
I think that's false.
it's real. It's a real.
Oh, John.
John, man.
You dirty man.
She loved white chocolate. I've got a milky bar for thee.
like chocolate.
She likes white chocolate. Here's my willy.
Yeah. 2, I get crowded by everyone like they're flies on S-word. So I get crowded by everyone like they're flies on
That's
S-word.
comparing himself to
I was
poo.
going to say that's got to be
Yeah,
false because
that's
he's
false,
saying that
yeah.
I am poo.
Yeah.
It is false, but I would have got that wrong because I would have thought that would have been like a weird John Cena because some of his didn't really make sense when he was rapping his
Not
way to
in
the ring.
2005 or 6 when this came out.
Yeah,
I've got
true.
a big willy and I'm a bit like poo.
No, and I'm not.
John
No, we can make a
Cena.
rap out of this by the end. So he's got a big
All
willy, a big white willy,
Big white willy.
but he's not like he's not. That's false.
But I'm not like poo.
Got my own jet. You can call me Mr. President.
Yes, that is true.
I don't think that's true.
It's false. It's 1-1.
No.
He doesn't have his own jet. We've established that.
You might do now.
I'm a fat kid. You feed me. I'm still hungry.
Sometimes fat is based on genetics as opposed to just eating too
Yeah,
much food.
John. Have some
And
respect.
I
sometimes
think
it's
that's
just eating a
disrespectful.
massive. It's a binge, not like
Yeah.
a keep eating. It's
And,
just
and,
a
and,
binge.
and a lot of times, still being hungry is actually an emotional response rather than a
Listen,
physical.
lads, I didn't.
And also, if you're not going to
I
the gym
didn't
and
just-
exercising and burning off what you eat, I mean, I'm case in point sat
Yeah.
here. So I think, John, you're an arsehole.
I think,
for-
John, if this is your lyric, you're an asshole. Antonio, if this is your lyric, you're grossly misunderstanding the obesity crisis.
So who's a bad person? Is it John or
It
is
depends.
it Antonio?
I'm going to hope and pray just for the sanctity of all professional wrestling and all kids around the world that Antonio from Manchester is the arsehole in question here.
I have a feeling that John's fattest, so I'll say true.
It's John.
No! Oh, it rolled over, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's John. What happened?
John, I am fat and furious.
So that is Ross 2-1, or is it Tom 2-1? I
can't remember.
You blamed Antonio.
2-1.
I thought
it's 2-1 to Tom.
Tom.
5. Acid in your face. Jesus. Acid in your face. Bad luck. Dissolve you.
Very
Wrong.
Acid in your face.
That's a very modern day thing to do to
attack.
someone. Yeah,
Yeah,
attack
I would
is
say false as well.
It's real.
Oh,
John Cena looking to the future.
Slagging
for
off
acid
fat
attacks.
lads, throwing acid in people. Well, they're getting the measure of this man, aren't we?
This guy's a role model. A role model for kids.
Wait. Number 6. 1, 2, 3 on the mat. I pwned you. Do you remember the term pwned?
Now, when was pwnage a thing?
Do you
It was when I was in
remember
college.
It rings a bell, but what does
It
it
was
mean?
like owned, but you'd accidentally type the P on the keyboard, but it became its own
Is that
thing.
literally what it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I think this is true because I think pwned is a word from 03.
I'll say false.
So I think it's true.
It's false. It's 2-2.
Oh.
Desmond.
Good
On the
research by
scoreboard.
Antonio.
I don't know whether he's made these up himself, in which case very creative and very convincing, or whether he's drawn them from other raps, maybe.
Get in contact with Jack after the podcast if you did, Antonio, and we'll get a duet on
Don't
the
put
go.
that on me. I've got it's the weekend.
Or if you want to rap
No,
battle,
sorry,
if you
ladies
wanna-
and
gentlemen,
if you want to
the
rap
weekend.
battle him, do you want to
No.
battle rap him?
Don't back myself there. 7. Man and grab microphones like diddlers groping late bloomers. I mean, diddlers is the word that he substituted in there, saying that originally it was something worse. Jeez. Man and grab microphones.
That has got to be false. I'm sorry, John.
Antonio, if this is something you've made up, Antonio, then you should probably be banned from getting in touch again.
Man and grab microphones.
In fact, no, he's put originally paedophiles. I reckon that's true.
Yeah, it's not actually diddlers. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was a word
yeah,
that YouTube wouldn't like.
I think it's true.
Oh, no, say that. Yeah.
So you're saying true?
One thinks it's
True.
It is true.
Oh, we need to get the remote, Tom. Grab the remote.
Where is it?
Just over there, straight in front of you.
no.
Mind the lights. Mind the wires.
Oh no, I don't know how to pronounce this word. One sec.
Click OK.
Nobody
Okay.
saw that.
Oh no,
Nobody
one
saw that.
sec. Just need to. Sorry, lads. 1 sec. Sorry, guys.
What number are we on?
We're on to that 8. What's the last word in 8? Is it provolone or is it provolone?
Provolone.
Provolone. I'll say provolone. All types of cheese: Swiss, cheddar, provolone. You think I'm John Cena? I've got a big dick. You want to blow me? No, I made that.
But there's no cheese on my dick. I don't have smegma.
Yeah, don't do cheese so close to a line about your pecker.
Roll down my foreskin in the shower.
Give it a clean
For an hour. Patreon, I'll be giving freestyle lessons. So all types. The only.
I believe that's from track 9, Clear Foreskin
The only-
/ Grab My Hose.
Yes. The only bit of that was in the question was all types of cheese: Swiss, cheddar, provolone.
Nah. False.
Only if the next line is you suck like baloney. I'm going to say true.
Or he
It
could
is
make it is true.
Oh!
He could make a pun in the next line, couldn't he? About like grating on someone, like, oh yeah,
You're grating on
I
me.
grate on you, like I grate me cheese, me pasta.
Oh no! I've just realised that his name is on this one. I'm so sorry. That was my fault.
I spotted it earlier, but I didn't want to mention anything.
Oh, well, that's really kind. Thank you.
no.
Now I worry how many times I've embarrassed myself in front of you, and you've gone, "Oh, bless him."
More than you think.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm worried. Number 9. I'm John. Just in this past 2 hours or so, I'm John Cena. Ain't ever. Sorry. This is so bad. I need to. Yeah. Number 9. I'm John Cena. I ain't ever seen a better rapper than me.
That's false.
Okay.
Oh,
I expect better from John. Plus, that's
I
that
ain't-
pun from wrestling fans from like 2013 or 2010.
yeah, I'm gonna err on the side of caution
I've
and say
seen enough.
false.
It is false. You're both right.
Get in.
I don't know what the score is as we head into the final round.
4-3, is it?
I don't know.
4-5-4 and he's 5-5.
And number 10. Oh, excuse me. I've got a sniffle. Number 10.
I think that's false. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a sniffle.
Yeah. Number 10. Best MC to touch the mic. Even better than Diddy, Harry, and Mike.
Harry?
Well, I
Kane.
think what's happened here is he's used the phrase Tom, Dick, and Harry. Oh, no,
Ah.
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
No, because Diddy would be P. Diddy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
MC
Ghetto
Harry P
superstar.
on the MIC. Harry Potter, big on the rap game back in the day.
Yeah.
I'd argue that the structure is awful because you're rhyming Mike with Mike.
Yeah, it's bad. But then is that beyond the realm of John Cena?
I think it's real. I think that's true.
Best MC to touch the mic, even better than Diddy, Harry and Mike.
That's something
Aye,
Bruce
that's
Pritchard
true.
would write for Hate Row on the main roster. So I'm gonna go no.
You're both
false.
going no.
I'm saying true.
He's
you're
true.
saying true. Ross has gone in.
Well
It's
done.
a draw, I think maybe.
Yeah. Now that's weird because I don't get Diddy. Are we just being really stupid and not thinking of iconic rappers called Harry and Mike?
There aren't any, as far as I'm concerned.
Unless one of the real names of someone like 50 Cent is Harry
Curtis.
Johansson.
It's Curtis.
Oh, he's Curtis, isn't he?
Marshall.
Marshall.
There's no-
Marshall Mathers.
Tupac.
Mike Myers.
Christopher.
Mike Bassett.
Cross.
I believe that Christopher was Biggie Smalls' name.
Oh.
Christopher Smalls.
Yes, that was his name.
Christopher Biggins? How good's that? You get Christopher Smalls and Christopher Biggins. Is there a Christopher medium out there? I'm dying here. Let's go. Let's move on.
Thank you very much to Antonio from Manchester. And if you want to submit your own Reese's Pieces to the podcast, then do email in at the address I provided just before, mailbag@cultaholic.com. Last segment, just one left, lads. Come on.
It's Cultaholics.
And finally, it's time for the big. Did he stop doing that?
Yeah, ever since he went to AEW, maybe a small part of Matthew died.
Yeah, he's Paul White now, isn't he?
The Paul question.
Yes. Before we do so, just so I don't forget to do this at the end of the podcast, I'm now going to start. We're going to start thanking some Patreon producers for this episode of the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. Yes, and do check out all those other perks that we mentioned on patreon.com/cultaholic. So a big thank you to Jack Coyle, Jay Hamilton, Mark Leslie, and Reno 2200 or 2200 or 2200. Reno. You too can be like them. Someone's written this before me. You too. Was it you?
No, Fraser sent me that. Fraser then also said, if you want to
My name
change
is
up the
Fraser.
words slightly to fit your narrative and vernacular,
Oh no.
do so. You'd have to read it out word for word.
No, I'll just read it out for it. You too can be like them and produce this very podcast by going to patreon.com/cultaholic and supporting us. We have a ton of new tiers and goals, so make sure to check them out.
If you want to be on an episode of Straight to Hell with Ross.
Or a Desert
Or a
Island
Desert
Grabs.
Island
Island Grabs.
Or we might even run a promotion.
We might even run a wrestling
One show.
Not a
One show.
promotion. One show. One
An
off.
entire promotion.
So, lads, I've got a burning question. I didn't mean to call like laddie. Right, boys. Got a burning question.
You'll get some cream for it.
She like white chocolate. How will CM Punk debut at AEW Rampage: The Last Dance?
Lights on, lights off, lights on again.
Balaclavas?
The show.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
The show.
Like DDP?
The show will come on the air. In the middle of the arena, we will not see a wrestling ring, but we will see a basketball court. That song off of the Chicago Bulls will start playing. Dun! When that first initial dun hits, CM Punk will run out dressed in basketball attire, waving from side to side.
Chicago Bulls.
I'm here to wear the basketball outfit of the Chicago Bulls and shoot some hoops. He will then shoot upwards of 3 hoops, a couple of 2-pointers, a nice slam dunk. He'll end on a 3-pointer.
Whoa.
I've got faith in CM Punk. That was a rhyme.
CM Dunk. CM bloody Dunk.
Nah, I think they'll. That's just me going off that Instagram story he did last week where he had what's it called, that song? That song, he had that playing. So I think that's
The Alan Parsons project.
Mick-
And it's called...
Tubular Bells or something like that. It's not. I know it's not. But it's
that's
got a
Mike
name.
Oldfield. That.
But I know, but it's got a name like Tubular Bells, hasn't it?
Siren?
But I think they need to do it
Horrible
early in the
song.
night. That's what I would say to AEW if I was booking the show. Just to you don't want to be waiting all around all night, do you? Just in case.
But does that overshadow everything else on the card?
Yeah, but it's going to overshadow everything anyway because it's just going to be CM Punk chants all night in it until he actually appears.
What I'm thinking is the opposite to you.
Oh!
Sirius
Serious, that was it.
is the song
By the Alan Parsons.
by the Alan Parsons Project.
Yeah, so you're saying first thing of the night, there he is.
Spunk hard, spunk early.
I say...
Tony Khan.
No mercy.
Is it 2 hours, this Alan Parsons?
1,
It's 1 hour.
Oh.
All right.
isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, 1.
For the hour, I reckon just tickle the bowels the entire hour. Literally, first thing you hear is now, music hits. What is this?
Ronda Rousey's.
Yeah, cult personality. First thing you hear, commentators say nothing. Crowd go wild, Out comes MJF. Oh, you expecting someone else?
Tom.
Welcome to the night.
Yes, Tom.
Let's have some fun.
Yes, Tom.
You have a limo pull up. You have a distinctive boot step out, pans up, and it's who would it be?
Peter Avalon.
Peter Avalon. And all this all night, and every 20 minutes there's a little something. You have the final bit of the night. Who's headlining that first Rampage?
The first one.
Oh,
this
sorry,
one.
the second one. The Chicago one.
I don't know.
Well, Darby Allin's heavily teased. He'll be there.
He's teased the Punk as well.
Main event will be Darby Allin, open challenge. Open challenge. Anybody who wants to come out and fight me. Anybody, even if you're the best in the world. Out comes Peter Avalon. I'll have a fight.
For the second time.
He beats Peter Avalon dead quick. And he goes, anyone else? I've still got some energy. Let's do it again. And out comes maybe a stronger opponent. Maybe out comes MJF. I don't know. Somebody else. Out comes MJF. They have a decent long match. That happens. Darby Allin celebrates. MJF beats him down. Little thing appears in the corner. Great night. Thanks for coming, everybody. And literally, as it's disappeared, as they're about, literally, they might even start fading to black. And then you have, out comes CM Punk then. Literally, like in the dying moment. You get like a good 2 minutes because it's all for the live crowd. So the live crowd, they'll do something a bit longer for the live crowd. But for you'll literally all night they've teased it and then you just see them right at the very end.
So you've gone for two extremes there, both of you.
Yeah.
Right at the end, right at the start.
Oh, you want to do something right at the start of the night, something impactful. Maybe just he attacks Darby Allin in the ring. I don't know. Just have him appear straight away because it's just going to be CM Punk chants all night long for every single wrestler doing the wrestling until he appears. So I think you get out of the way early.
Yeah.
And it's a big statement on the second ever Rampage.
If we're doing like the Three Bears thing, then I'll go for he appears dead in the middle of the show on the half hour as TV dictates to help the ratings. And I don't know, I'd have him. Is it too early for him to? Because I feel as though if this really does happen, he's going to do some sort of pipe bomb, like 2.0 kind of thing. But I don't know if it's too early to do that on the first one.
I think the first one should just be him appearing. He's here.
Not even saying anything.
Huh?
Ooh.
He's here. That image.
Hello.
I'm here. Punk just staring out to the crowd on the top of the ramp. That's plenty for the first night.
Maybe.
Pointing at his
I don't think he should. I know that I'm worried they're going to just have him wrestle Darby on the first one, and I feel like they need to save whatever his first match is for a big.
I think they'll save it for All Out, won't they? Is that after? Yeah, it is.
All
yeah.
Out or Full Gear. I can't remember.
Whichever the September one is.
Oh yeah, All Out. Yeah.
Save it for that one. Set it up on Rampage and then save it for.
I'll give a silly answer as well, just for the guys.
Jack's silly answer.
What is he like?
Was that inspired by Alan's funny story?
I wonder who got the power pack.
Alan's funny story.
Jack's silly answer.
Here's my silly answer. CM Punk versus Shannon Moore. There's a reason though. There's a reason. Because CM Punk did his first promo at ECW against Shannon Moore, didn't he?
You're
Remember
a poser.
Yes. Shannon Moore's going, I'm the Prince of Punk. No, he did. No, he did. He went, and I'm bringing...
Speaking like Schmiegel.
Well, I can't do a Shannon Moore.
No, because he was like leaning down and stuff.
He was all
he?
being like, I'm the Prince of Punk. The Hobbits. No, he was going to... and I'm...
Hobbits.
He said, I'm the Prince of Punk, and I'm bringing sexy back, which was a Justin Timberlake like thing,
man,
which isn't very punk rock of him. So then CM Punk goes in and goes, you're a poser. Slaps him in the face. And Shannon Moore goes... You know the episode of Max and Paddy where Paddy hits the lad in the prison with the and he goes, that's what Shannon Moore did.
That's exactly what Shannon Moore did.
And then Punk beat him and stuff. So CM Punk versus Shannon Moore, that was my silly answer. Cheers, guys.
Lovely.
Any closing thoughts, lads? Anything you want to plug or promote? Or talk about?
What I'll say is just before we finish off on that question.
Okay.
Right. See, we did ponder the question: will CM Punk turn up? And we changed it to how, because I genuinely think. After all they've done, after all they did on Dynamite, after all that's out there in the world, if he doesn't turn up,
oh dear,
I think that's company suicide. I think if you've booked Chicago, you've heavily implied CM Punk, and that's not just you can sometimes excuse the internet for running away with itself and going, we didn't promise anything, but I'm sorry, you leaned so heavily into that on Dynamite. If he doesn't walk out or make an appearance at Rampage in Chicago. That's trouble. That is trouble. You'll have a lot of mistrust there. I think that's you put yourself in a position where I do genuinely hope for AEW he has signed.
And if they haven't signed him, just do a teaser anyway and work it out after that.
Just it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is true.
It is.
It's the way they lingered on those chants, especially. That really
They
hammered
cut
home.
to the crowd
Yeah.
chanting CM Punk.
Yeah, that
Darby
really
Allin
hammered it
and
home.
MJF all dropping little hints.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't not now. You can't not.
They will.
Yeah.
Trust Tony Khan. He
It'll be
never
in-
overpromises.
It'll be interesting to see either way. But yes, thank you to the pair of you for joining me on this lovely podcast.
Thank you.
Hopefully Matthew is back next week. He told us he's feeling okay. So hopefully
he'll
he's
be
all right.
here next
Yeah.
week.
It was
Yeah,
more, I
he'll
think,
be-
more a precaution.
Precautionary,
just in
yeah,
case.
Because the world
Yeah.
is what it is at the moment.
But yeah.
Are we plugging stuff?
Go on
Can I-
then,
Can I
Tom.
do a
Yeah,
little cheeky
yeah,
plug? This weekend, a brand new episode of Wrestling Curiosities on the Cultaholic podcast feed about the unbelievable wrestling career of Andy Kaufman.
That sounds very, very interesting.
It's an amazing piece of wrestling history. If you're not familiar with it, then there's a bluffer's guide hitting your podcast feed on Sunday.
Ross.
Brand new Straight to Hell on the channel with Levi Cooper, formerly known as Tucky from Heavy Machinery. It's up there with the Matt Raywald Aiden English episode, just in terms of sheer honesty and brutal answers.
Really?
And it's an hour and a half, and all topics that are put in front of him, he just answered with a lovely, honest answer.
Was he a nice
It's just
guy as well?
Really nice
Oh,
guy.
that's
Not going to be wrestling huge scope here until the start of 2022 because his wife is expecting another child, another
Oh,
baby.
that's very nice.
Congratulations to those. He's going to be a stay-at-home dad for the rest of the year, but 2022 he'll be all over the places. Levi Cooper, which is his shoot name because he was an amateur wrestler and he used to pay for his college by beating up folk. So he's going to lean on that and be hard. But it's a really good listen. Really go into the cash in the voters and the taking the briefcase off and the turn and all this stuff like that. The flight home from Saudi Arabia. I just sit back and say, just tell me what happened there. And he did over the course of about 15 minutes, and it's very interesting to hear.
I actually can't wait for
it's
that.
that-
I'm
that's one of
excited
the
as
things
well.
he sends to hell is the flight home from there. And I just
Oh,
think
that's so
he
good.
explains all that. So it's a very honest and open interview, and I
Wow.
very much appreciate him for being like that. So that's on the channel on Sunday.
I've got nothing specific, just the usual Twitch at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday with Owen, up the faves, Cultaholic FC and all that. But honestly, I'm more excited. I'm buzzing for that. I hope you're not doing a Tony Khan and over-promising.
I'm not. I was there. I've seen it.
Right, lovely stuff. Thanks, Tom, for stepping in. Thanks, Ross, as well. And thank you all for watching. And of course, now that we're in this place, we don't put our fists up against the camera anymore. We point at the sign. And we say on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1, join us. Okay, join us.
Hell was that?